We are on the air.
What is up?
Good morning, everybody.
Another Saturday morning here in Tennessee. I don't know if it's afternoon or evening or wherever you are, but I know because we got a lot of people over the pond there. So
Yes, we do. So good evening.
we
Good
got our
evening to all of our. Good evening to all of our European Union fans. Of course,
I like that European Union.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know how many of you guys saw my little Facebook preface about the show today. So you guys will have to. Perfect example. You guys will have to forgive me a little bit. I'm fighting off a sinus infection, so I'll be giving the mute button hell today. That way, I'm not coughing or sniffling in anybody's ear. So I'll be doing my best to try to minimize that for you guys. I know it's kind of gross, but metal never sleeps,
that's right. That's right. That's
and
just that.
neither have I, and neither have I the past 2 nights.
Uh,
So
yeah, a sinus infection just gives you better gutturals. So
that's true. That's very true. I can definitely hit a lot lower notes now. So I guess that would be one bright side. Excuse me.
Mm. So get this thing cooking like normal.
Yeah,
Birthday list here. That's
yeah.
pretty big people
No,
on the birthday
I
list
was just
this
about
week.
to say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, man, I had a screenshot. I'll make sure but I think I remember actually going through it now, so I know they're on here. All right. Anyway, we'll kick this off with some birthdays here from the 17th through the 23rd. On July 17th, we had Mick Tucker, a drummer for Sweet, unfortunately passed away in 2002. We also had Geezer Butler, a bassist for Black Sabbath. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, but
One or two songs, I think.
oh man, July 18th we had I want to kill this fucking name, but Caesar Zutterwick, drummer for Golden Earring. Then we had Darren Malakian, guitarist for System of a Down, and we had Aaron Gillespie, drummer and vocalist for Under Oath. July 19th, we only had one birthday there, and I guess that was because of who it is. I guess it's pretty fitting, but it's Rob Flynn, singer guitarist for Machine Head.
That's right.
He stands alone on this. He probably wouldn't have it any other way. But
That's right.
July 20th, JJ French, guitarist for Twisted Sister. Chris Cornell, of course, vocalist for Soundgarden and Audio Slave, unfortunately passed away in 2017. We had Andrew Stockdale, vocalist for Wolfmother. Howard Jones, vocalist for Light the Torch and Killswitch Engage. So it's pretty cool. We had two of our favorite vocalists on the same birthday
Right.
list.
Yeah.
July 21st, Jim Martin, a guitarist for Faith No More, and Corey Cooper, guitarist for Skillet. July 22nd, we had John Oliva for vocalist for Sabotage, Will Calhoun, drummer for In Living In living colors. I mean, living color, not in living color. He wasn't a Wayans brother. Pat Badger, bassist for Extreme, and then Jason Becker, guitarist for Cacophony. I'll get that right. I always hate saying that damn name. And then, of course, he did some work with David Lee Roth Band before he wound up diagnosed with ALS. So, man, 52 years old. He's been dealing with that for a long time. So.
Yeah, he has.
July 23rd, we had Slash, of course, guitarist for Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, Slash is Snake Pit, and probably about 20 other bands, but he's been on. But and then we had Nick Meza, drummer for Megadeth, who unfortunately passed away in 2016. So there's a birthday list this week. Happy birthday to those that are able to celebrate. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. And then, like always, if any of you guys had a birthday this week, happy birthday to you as well.
Absolutely.
All right. I guess we've had a interesting weekend news. So not as big as last week, where everybody went nuts over the Pantera reunion. But
yep, that's true. That's true. Of course, there would have had to have been something pretty substantial to, I think, to have topped that. So
yeah, I did see where Zach Wild even said, "Of course, it's not Pantera. Like, get real."
Yeah. Yeah, he said they're gonna be honoring the legacy, which is what it needs to be. And
right.
the people who can't keep that in perspective, I mean, they're obviously entitled to their opinion, but the people who can't keep that in perspective, I think it's just kind of misguided. But
well, it's like anything else in the world. Somebody took it out of context, and then everybody else ran with it. So
yep. Personally, I'm looking forward to it. So
oh yeah, I think it'll be great.
All right, so as we kick off this week in current events, got a little bit of sad news to report. So, not to downplay it, but we like to lead with that if there is any. That way we can move on to bigger and brighter things. So, over at loudwire.com, this may not be a name that most of you guys are going to know, but you probably know some of his work. Sorry. Adored surrealist painter Mariusz Lewandowski has died, his family confirmed via Facebook over the weekend. Quote, "It was a beautiful life. It's time to say goodbye, my friends. A certain era is end. The last farewell will take place in the chapel at the funeral home in Goro-Ilaweki, Poland." So keep those, I don't know if I'm pronouncing those words right. So, anybody over there in Poland, you'll have to excuse me. On July 20th at 11 a.m., bereaved family. End quote, the post reads. So the service has already taken place, so born in Zieldało, Poland in 1960, Lewandowski specialized in, as his official biography states, oil paintings whose subject matter, quote, "often goes far beyond the limits of the human mind. The works are full of symbols and thought-provoking details that each viewer has the opportunity to interpret in his own way. The author, apart from giving a title, never translates his paintings," end quote. Although he was certainly renowned in his own right, Loudwire readers likely know him best for his work on various metal album covers. In particular, his designs for Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper, Lorna Shore's And I Return to Nothingness, Psychroptic's As the Kingdom Drowns, and Abigail Williams' Walk Beyond the Dark, among other LPs, brought him a lot of attention and acclaim from genre fans in recent years. In fact, he'd created over 30 pieces of artwork before his passing, and he even collaborated with famed skateboarder Jamie Thomas on the latter's Zero Skateboards brand in 2021. Endearingly, hundreds of admirers have shared condolences and appreciation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and elsewhere. Without a doubt, metal fans and art fans alike have just lost a one-of-a-kind creator. So, like I say, excuse me. As far as a name, a lot of people may not have known the name, but a lot of us have probably seen his work over the years and didn't realize it. So, and we've mentioned this on the show before, how we think that heavy metal as a genre has the greatest album cover art. And I don't even think it's close. So to have a guy this talented who's done the work that he's done for the amount of bands that he's done to lose that just kind of hurts. So
most definitely, yeah. Unfortunately, all news is not good news.
That's right.
All right, my first one is over from Loudwire. Ramstein are reaching out to their fans with visual impairment by offering a guided exploration of their live stage designed specifically for such listeners amid their ongoing and extremely loud concert tour of Europe and North America this summer. This week, the prominent German industrial metal group out a call to any concert goers attending their upcoming shows in Norway, Sweden, and Belgium who may have visual impairment or low vision. An official pass or document from a medical professional is required to take part of the offer, along with proof of purchased ticket for the particular Ramstein gig. The special concert package will also be on offer to Ramstein fans in the U.S. and Canada at the band's North American dates coming this August and September. That's what Ramstein explained in an announcement on Twitter on Thursday, July 21st. Are you blind and have a ticket to Ramstein's show in Oslo, Gothenburg, or Austin? The outfit asked. Ramstein invites you to touch and discover the stage on a guided tour, also available in North America. This offer has apparently already attracted some Ramstein diehards. An online fan post shows a listener reportedly named, I'm going to probably kill this because, from where it's from. But Yana Hanky, maybe? Anyway, Hank, Hanky, one way or the other. Meeting Ramstein lead singer Till Lindemann after a recent live gig. The fan touching his face to ascertain his features. So that's pretty cool that they're doing something like that. So
that is cool. That's the first time I've heard of something like that.
I was actually going to say that, so I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that before. So
no, so I mean that's a cool thing that they're doing. I like that. Yeah. Let's see, where am I going to go next? Because I've got a few places to go. All right, well I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay at Loudwire here. Rage Against the Machine makes another large donation to a charitable cause, this time to a number of Indigenous peoples charities in Canada. They announced the donation on Twitter on July 21st. Quote, charity tickets purchased by our fans at Tuesday's Hamilton, Ontario show raised $75,000, the band tweeted. These funds will be distributed by Why Hunger and Polaris Institute to support the Roots of Justice and Indigenous climate action organizations in Hamilton, end quote. According to their respective websites, Roots of Justice holds anti-racism workshops and other training for people of all colors, while Indigenous climate action focuses on, quote, uplifting Indigenous voices, sovereignty, and stewardship of the lands and waters for future generations, end quote. This is the second sizable donation Rage Against the Machine has made in a month. On June 24th, the band donated $475,000 to reproductive rights organizations in the wake of the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe versus Wade. In both these instances, they used ticket sales from their shows to fuel donations. Rage Against the Machine has been front and center of the music community since returning to live touring last month. Their first show in 11 years garnered press for its fierce messaging and powerful performance. Then vocalist Zach Della Rocha broke his leg, continuing to perform while seated. All the while, fans of Rage were continuing to discover their quote-unquote wokeness. Seriously, where the fuck have you been, dude? That's in parentheses in the article. Also, guitarist Tom Morello was recently the target of All That Remains singer Phil Labante's ire over imagined rampant profits of non-ethically sourced wah pedals, totally unproven, by the way. Parentheses in the story here. Rage Against the Machine continue their public service announcement tour with Run the Jewels in Toronto tonight, and then start an Upper Midwest leg in the U.S. on July 25th in Buffalo, New York. So keeping all of the political opinion stuff aside, because we don't get into that here. Still, we talk about Metallica all the time, making donations to charities and stuff like that. So these guys do this stuff all the time. I mean, just in the past week, you're talking about between these two donations at Rage Against the Machine, I mean, you're talking $500,000 total, and they've taken it out of basically their own pockets, really, literally. I mean, just from ticket sales alone, they've donated over $500,000 to charity over the past week. So hats off, hats off to them for that.
They went from "fuck you, I won't do what they tell me" to "hey man, what do you need next?" I'm just kidding. Man,
Well,
strange
yeah,
how.
it's one of those. It's one of the. It's like they talk about. It's like they talk about defenses in football. Bend but don't break.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I just kind of think it's if you set your your I guess trying to say your character around a certain thing, and then 20 to 25 years later you go back on it. Well, those people that followed you 20 25 years ago are still around, dude. So I'm just saying.
Yeah,
So just be prepared.
yeah. And like the old saying goes, the internet is undefeated. So
No, that's true. Yeah.
the
All right,
internet,
this
the
one.
internet, the internet is like Pepperidge Farm. Pepperidge Farm remembers. So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. The internet is forever, even though you leak and scrub and whatever you want to. It can still be
yeah,
found. So.
yeah.
Uh, this one is staying over with Loudwire. In the fall of 2021, Faith No More and Mr. Bungle canceled a number of U.S. shows that were set for September and October so that frontman Mike Patton could focus on his mental health. Now the singer has opened up about the particular issues that forced those cancellations. In a new interview with Rolling Stone, Patton discussed the turmoil he's dealing with, which is something that his publicist warned him he would be queried about. However, he expressed that it helps him to talk about what's going on, especially as he prepares to release a second album with the supergroup Dead Cross, titled Dead Cross 2. It's still going on, but it's better, Patton said of his mental health struggle. It's easy to blame it on the pandemic, but I'll be honest, man, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was like, this is fucking great. I can stay home and record. I've got a home studio. So I was like, yeah, what's the big deal? And then something clicked, and I became completely isolated and almost antisocial and afraid of people. Thus, the vocalist was diagnosed with uh, agor- agoraphobia. Get right a minute, which is defined by the Mayo Clinic as a type of anxiety disorder in which you fear and avoid places or situations that might cause you to panic or make you feel trapped, helpless, or embarrassed. The anxiety Patton experienced other issues, he explained, though he admitted he doesn't want to detail them. He initially realized that he didn't feel well around the time that Faith No More were about to head out on tour this past September. Then I lost it, and it was ugly and not cool. A few days before we were supposed to go on the road, I told the guys, hey man, I don't think I can do it. Somehow my confidence was broken down. I didn't want to be in front of people, which is weird because I spent half my life doing that, Patton recalled. It was very hard to explain, and there are some broken feelings on both sides about it. But it's what I had to do because otherwise something really bad could have happened. The frontman assumes that his Faith No More bandmates and fans alike were likely upset with him for the situation, but he understood that he really needed to put himself and his mental health first. And I knew if I kept pushing, it could have been some sort of disastrous result, he added. Patton isn't sure whether Faith No More will reschedule the shows that were canceled, and added that things between them are a little confusing and complicated right now. Fortunately, Patton has been getting help from his professionals to deal with his agoraphobia and assured that he's feeling better and more confident again. My dolls keep me completely at peace, and my garden that really helps, and also the help that I'm getting, like psychotherapy, psychiatrists, and all that stuff. Even though it can be laborsome, I know that it is helping me. He then also AA. I got to admit, it really is helpful. He described of his regimen. As of now, Patton is still set to perform two shows with Mr. Mungle in South America in December. We wish him all the best going forward. So yeah, it's a strange little string of events there. So
Yeah.
to
But
be like he said, to be half your life of a crowd, and then all of a sudden you just like you just start feeling anxious and
Yeah.
afraid to be there. So
Well, and I mean, to try to put yourself in his shoes, like you say, he had a career, up on stage, and all of a sudden he starts feeling a certain way. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I can only imagine not having to, not going through that myself, but I can only imagine like the first time he started realizing that was an issue for him, and
right,
then trying to figure out what the hell to do about it, probably being scared to death, like, what's this going to do, for my career and stuff like that, but I don't know how long it took him like to realize he had this problem, but I guess better late than never. And I guess and it is, it was able to finally realize it, get diagnosed, start going through treatments. And it's good to hear that the treatments are helping. I mean, regardless of his career, I mean, you don't, even if he was just, like, a regular 9 to 5 or whatever, like you and I, you still, when you've got a job, you're still dealing with people to a certain extent. So to have something like that, where it's damn near crippling to even be around people,
hmm
and then to have and then to have the career that he does, I mean, I can only imagine what that's like,
well, I mean,
so
I'm sure it was confusing at first too,
yeah,
because especially
right.
for personally, you'd be like, okay, well, why am I feeling like this? This is weird. So you know,
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is just another example of, and we've talked about it plenty of times, people are coming and going, and bands have been breaking up over stuff like this. Every Time I Die is an example,
hmm
so, it doesn't always benefit the bands, of course, but, people, I mean, in everyday life, need to start taking, control of their mental health, so it's good that Mike is doing this. It's good that it sounds like that it's helping. And of course, being fans of Faith No More, it's good to see that he will, probably be able to get back up on stage and go back out. So it's good for the fans. It'll be good for Mike too. I'm sure it'll be cathartic once he gets back up there, you know, but I can't imagine not being able to feel right around just people in general. I mean, you and I we've been to concerts and sporting events and shit like that plenty of times, and
hmm
and obviously when you get in situations like that, obviously there's gonna be people, like specific individuals that you run into that could potentially, ruin your good time and shit like that. And just, there's dickheads in every group. But to have a crippling fear of just people in general, man, it's just I can't even imagine. So good on Mike for going through this, and hopefully he comes out of it for his sake, and then he can continue his career, because I it's not, I guarantee you it's not that he doesn't want to get up on stage. I guarantee you it's not that.
my wife deals with a little bit of that. Even if when we
Hmm.
go to concerts, sometimes she has to pull back from like the crowds and be like, "Hey, we need to get over
Yeah.
here for a minute." I mean, you've seen that when we were at the
Hmm.
Signal show. So she kind
Yeah.
of stepped back and went toward away from everybody for a little bit. So
Right.
it's so I mean,
Well,
yeah, I kind of get it,
yeah.
but like I said, when you do it for a living, it's a whole different thing.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know how sudden it came on, but it
Because
probably
you don't.
wasn't. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, with him, he doesn't have a choice about you know being in front of crowds because that's what he does for a living. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
with if you're buying a ticket and you get like that, you can just leave. I mean, it's like, but he can't
Right.
do
Yeah.
that. He can't just walk off stage. I mean, he could, but
Yeah. I mean,
I mean that would be probably worse. So
yeah.
than just calling it off altogether. So
Right.
yeah, well, hopefully they'll get things situated and try to reschedule because I
Hmm.
really hate
Yeah.
it for fans to be. But I thought I did see them on like a ticket with somebody else coming up.
Excuse me. I'm sure they are. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, I can remember. I know when I was looking through on the stuff for the hitting the road segment, I thought I come across that.
Yeah, you may have.
Oh, that's weird. Just had that story and then seen that.
Right.
Like I said, he
Well,
may just be
he
good just
does.
for him to ease his way back into it.
Yeah. Well, and he's got. Well, I mean, Mike's got more than one too, so it
Mm-hmm.
could have been. It could have been not necessarily Faith No More. He's got Faith No More. He's got got the new Dead Cross project. So
Mr.
Mr.
Bungle.
Bungle. So yes, I mean, it could have been. It could have been one of those. Honestly, I seem to remember seeing something about Mr. Bungle not too long ago, but like I said, I'd have to
I
go
actually
back and
remember
double
seeing
check.
Faith. I was actually I Faith No More on the bill. That's why I was like, oh
Oh,
wow.
okay.
So
Okay. Well,
maybe it was the upcoming stuff going on in South America too. I don't remember.
yeah, maybe. All right. Well, some more. Another story about some health news over to blabbermouth.net. Former Wasp guitarist Chris Holmes recently completed 7 weeks of radiation therapy in his battle with cancer in throat and neck. Earlier on Friday, July 22nd, the 63-year-old musician shared a video update on his health, saying in part, as transcribed by blabbermouth.net, quote, "I went to the hospital last Monday. They did an MRI on my neck, and it's been 3 months since the last radiation I had. Anyway, they did an MRI, and I went back Wednesday, and they looked at the MRI, and the doctor told me that the cancer is gone, which is a positive thing, to say the least, everybody. I'm glad I'm glad the kind of cancer I had is a lot of cancer isn't. Anyway, as of now, I'm still suffering from all the radiation that was done on my neck." He continued, "I still can't taste anything. It'll probably take 6 months from right now till my neck's back to normal. Last month when I talked, I wasn't that coherent because I'd stopped taking morphine June 10th. And let me tell you, the come down off the morphine was radical. I'd never been through anything like that in my life. You can sleep only an hour a night and then you're up and your brain ain't working right. I really feel sorry for for what heroin addict. And it's the first time I ever felt the come down off the morphine. I'm getting better. I'm probably 65, 70%. By next September, it's July now, 20th or something. September, I'm supposed to be touring in Canada finally after 3 years. But yeah, I'll be in Canada tearing it up. So be there." End quote. Holmes joined Wasp in 1982 and remained with the group until 1990. In 1996, the guitarist returned to Wasp and stayed with the band until 2001. Chris has not played with Wasp since. So, but that's not the point. The point is, it sounds like for right now, anyway, that Chris Holmes is cancer free. So that's always good to hear when someone can beat that shit. So,
Yep. All right. This one is over from Metal Sucks. Earlier this year, metalcore outliers God Forbid revealed that they would be reuniting for the 2022 Blue Ridge Rock Fest. When the word got out, people immediately wondered who would be replacing the band's original second guitarist, Dallas Coyle, for the show. Now, guitarist Doc Coyle has revealed that guitarist Nick Hippa, formerly of disgraced metalcore act As I Lay Dying, will be taking up the axe for the band. So they're, As I Lay Dying, starting to get new gigs, I guess.
yep, as we kind of figured would
Oh,
happen. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Here's what Doc said via his Instagram. The cat is out of the bag. People have been asking relentlessly about who would be playing the second guitar for the God Forbid official reunion. We've been keeping it under wraps, but I'm proud to announce our good friend Nick Hippa, ex As I Lay Dying, as the guitar player. Nick is a ripping player and just a great human being. This is going to be so badass. I can't wait to this set in a couple of months at Blue Ridge. This makes a lot of sense as God Forbid and Nick's former band came up at the same time. Kudos and good luck to the band. Cole also revealed the reunion earlier this year with the following statement: "I wasn't sure that this would ever happen, but I can't tell you how psyched I am to announce that God Forbid is reuniting Blue Ridge Rock Festival. These are my brothers, and I can't wait to share this with the fans who've been waiting. Please follow the God Forbid official Instagram page and head over to Blue Ridge page to purchase tickets to the festival. And not too fast though, because I gotta get one more song.
So don't run right out and get them. I mean, just
which it is like 80% sold out, so it's getting close. So
yeah.
of course, it's
Actually,
getting close to
I'm
the show
surprised.
date soon.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by that number. I would have figured it would have been higher by now. So
Well, so with the location this year, they were able to increase the amount of tickets to be sold. So it's going to be it was a
well,
little bit
that,
like if it would
that's
have been where it was at last year, it would be sold out already. So
uh it's actually, I know we've talked about it before here on the show, but man, it's really gonna be, and I know you'll have firsthand experience, of course, between last year and this year, but man, it's really gonna be interesting to see
hmm
how much better it's gonna be this year at a racetrack like that. So
well, I mean, you got to think you're at a place where they're used to having a lot of and having parking, and they're used to all that already. So I mean,
hmm
it's not going to be a big difference, I don't think. So I mean, I think it's going to be cool that they're going to be prepared for that kind of
yeah,
crowd and stuff like that. I just don't think they were prepared for that at the last venue. So
yeah. And plus, the having everything set up at the infield of a racetrack. I don't think, and Richmond's not the Richmond, isn't the biggest racetrack on the NASCAR circuit, but still, when you have these racetracks just in general, I don't think people really kind of I don't think people really picture it in their heads how big an infield area is at
right,
these NASCAR tracks. I mean, Talladega is the biggest one on the circuit. It's 2.66 miles, and the infield area of that track is basically a second city
hmm
when NASCAR comes to town. So it's insane that the area that some of these infields take up. So I think having it at this new facility, especially if it works out a lot better this, we'll see how it wouldn't, especially with the stories you've told me. Like if they can secure, you know, I don't know if they got to come up with some kind of like a contract or something. So if they're able to like secure like a land deal or a contract, going for like 5-10 years or whatever, some sort of agreement, then I think this festival, as huge as it already is, could get a lot better.
yeah. I honestly think this may be just a way of kind of getting their traction back from last year.
Uh-huh.
Until they get a permanent home, because I think that's what they're actually wanting to do. They want to try to get somewhere
Okay.
permanent where they don't have to pick up and move back. I mean, who knows? They may be so successful here that the raceway may work with them on it. Who knows? But
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
definitely see how it pans out.
Yeah. Well, we definitely know that there won't be any well, there should I won't say won't because nothing's ever guaranteed, but there shouldn't be any issues with the bill
Parking,
this year. 'Cause
with
parking for one, yeah.
parking. Yeah,
But I mean, there's definitely no art. I don't think anyone can really axe on the bill this
and
year. It's
I
it's a pretty
see
damn amazing lineup.
I seen 9 points, a 9 point schedule, so they don't have to come through Tennessee to get there this year, so they should be good. uh,
Yeah, I-40 is kind of like their nightmare alley.
yeah. Well, welcome
Can't
to our
say,
world.
yeah, I can't say as I blame them. Yeah, yeah, no shit. All right, staying over at Blabbermouth. Deep Purple guitarist Steve Morse has officially left the band to care for his wife Janine, who is battling cancer. Morse's latest announcement comes 4 months after the guitarist said that he would be taking a hiatus from the band in hope of rejoining his bandmates once his wife's health improved. He was then replaced on the road by Irish blues rock guitarist Simon McBride. And if there's not a more Irish name than Simon McBride, I'd like to hear it. Um, earlier today actually being today, I saw this story this morning. Deep Purple released the following statement via social media. Quote, Deep Purple announces that Steve Morse will be stepping back from the band, having been its guitarist for more than a quarter of a century. Steve's personal circumstances have made it impossible for him to commit to the band's schedule throughout 2022 and beyond. A few months ago, Steve openly shared with the band's fans the sad fact that his wife Janine is battling cancer, and in his own words, quote, I simply must be there with her, end quote. Of course. I mean, kind of the same reaction I had when Des Fafara said that they were canceling their appearance on that Static X tour. Same thing. He was taking care of his wife. It's like, of course, absolutely. And people were pissed off at him for that. And that's fucking dumb. It's fucking stupid. Since joining the band in 1994, Steve has written and recorded 8 studio albums with the band: Perpendicular, Abandon, Bananas, Rapture of the Deep, Now What, Infinite, Whoosh, and Turning to Crime. In addition, Steve has also recorded many live records with Deep Purple over the years. Steve will be greatly missed by band, crew, management, record label, and all those that had the pleasure of working with him over the years. Steve has always been hugely grateful for the support and love of Deep Purple fans across the globe. A true master. So, again, I mean, you've got to make decisions sometimes that may not be the best for the band, may not be the one that you even want to make. But man, when you've got a significant other, spouse, something like that, who's going through that, you have to be there for them. And anybody who has a problem with that can, they can just go take a flying leap, because that's ridiculous and selfish.
Yeah, I agree. That's just, I never got that. Like you said, whenever Desafar announced that, people were mad. I'm just like, wow. I mean, the guy's got to take care of his family first,
right? Yeah.
So you want him to go through, you want her to go through all these treatments alone, and have him
No.
on stage just to entertain you.
I know.
Fuck you.
It's stupid and selfish, and it's not like Steve Morse's wife got cancer on purpose. It's not like she wanted Steve to have to make that decision. And it's not like Steve wanted to make that decision. He'd been in the band for 25 years. Nobody in this situation wants to be in the situation, and nobody wanted to have to put anybody else in the situation to make that choice. But it's the only choice to make. And this really isn't, to me, this really isn't a situation where it's like, oh, well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Well, if you're pissed at Steve Morse, if you were pissed at Des Fafara, then you're just an idiot. People have to take care of their families. Just stupid.
All right, this one also from Blabbermouth. This is my last, actually, because I just happened to see this morning. So,
all right.
Ozzy Osbourne made his Comic-Con international debut at this year's event on Friday, July 22nd in San Diego, California. Osbourne and Todd McFarlane revealed artwork for the limited edition special McFarlane designed comic book that is available, and that is part of special edition Patient Number 9 album packages, along with a signing at the Stern Pinball Rebellion Republic booth. Entertainment Tonight's Matt Cohen spoke with Ozzy at the Comic-Con International, where he offered an update on his health since he was released from the hospital last month following major surgery. It's great. It's great, Osbourne said. I like to see people, that's been the hardest thing for the past 3 years because I've been trying to recover from my surgery. I'm getting there. It's a slow climb back, but on June 13th, Ozzy underwent and realigned pins in his neck and back. At the time, Osbourne family source told Page 6 that there would be a lengthy amount of convalescence after the operation, and that the legendary heavy metal singer would need a nurse at home. Then the source added, Ozzy is 73, and any kind of surgery when you get that out is difficult. So this is quite major. He's having the pins in the back of his neck realigned from when he had a fall back in 2019. Of course, we all know about all that. So see if there's anything else new on here.
Right.
Actually,
at this point, probably not. Knowing Blabbermouth, they're probably just going to rehash everything.
Yeah, rehash shit that she went through. Last November, entire 19. Yeah, they're just talking about old stuff. So, it's just stupid. But anyway, seems like he's feeling good. So, and he was able to get out to. I was actually wondering if he was going to make it out to that, because we were talking about that when you announced that was going to be his first appearance. So we were kind of. I think, did you post that on the Metalheads Facebook page about the 25-foot Ozzy blow up things?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah. So they made a big deal.
Pretty cool looking inflatable too.
Yeah, so they made a pretty good big deal about it. So
yeah,
to have
as they should have.
Oh yeah. But that's all the news that I have. So I don't know what else you got going
Oh,
there.
okay. I've got one. I've actually got a few more. One, two, three. I've got five more, but none of them are super. None of them are super. None of them are super duper lengthy. A couple of them kind of are in the same vein as one another. So yeah, I'll be able to get through these relatively quickly. So all right, staying over at Blabbermouth for a little bit. Ronnie James Dio's wife and longtime manager Wendy Dio spoke to Andy Hall of the Des Moines, Iowa radio station Laser 103.3 about the status of Dio Dreamers Never Die, the career-spanning documentary on the life and times of the legendary rock icon, which received its world premiere this past March at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas. She said, quote, "We did a lot of different film festivals. You go to film festivals to get a buyer for the film, and we have secured a buyer, and it will come out at the end of the summer in theaters. It'll be in theaters the end of the summer." Okay, being redundant there, Wendy. Okay. End quote. At the South by Southwest Film Festival, several music personalities who were involved in the making of the film, Wendy, Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler, and former Skid Row singer Sebastian Bach, took part in a panel, Dreamers Never Die, The Enduring Power of Metal panel, hosted by Sirius XM's Eddie Trunk at Austin Convention Center. Video of the discussion is available below. It's in the story, of course. Dio Dreamers Never Die is the first documentary about Dio to be fully authorized by the artist's estate. According to the film's official description, it, quote, delves deep into his incredible rise from 50s doo-wop crooner. That's kind of, I mean, I knew that about him. I did,
Yeah.
but that's really hard to freaking imagine. To his early classic rock days in Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, to replacing the iconic lead singer Ozzy Osbourne in Black Sabbath, to finally cementing his legend with Dio. Ronnie's biography is completely unique to the tired sex, drugs, and rock and roll cliches. The film is about perseverance, dreams, and the power to believe in yourself, end quote. And there's more that we've already talked about. so I'm just going to cut that one off right there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think it'll be interesting. All right. And then moving over to another one here at blabbermouth.net. California metalers Devil Driver have announced the return of original bassist John Miller after more than a decade-long absence from the scene. In addition to this epic reunion, Devil Driver have also added guitarist Alex Lee from Holy Grail to the lineup, replacing Neil Tiemann. Devil Driver is also gearing up to head out on tour this fall, with more information coming very. And as soon as we have it, you'll have it. Miller comments, quote, "After spending the past 10 years away from writing music, recording, and touring, I've made the decision to return to Devil Driver to settle some unfinished business with two lifelong friends," end quote. Devil Driver frontman Des Fafara said, quote, "John is a monster on bass and wrote much of our early material. We began talking daily, and it just felt right. And having him on stage again will be absolutely pummeling technically and visually. For the fans that have seen the band with John in it, please welcome him back. And for those of you who haven't, get ready because he holds it down. Having most of the OG members in the band now after almost 20 years feels good. Get ready because we have a massive tour announcement coming in August. It's been since July 2019 that we've toured, and the break was needed. The fire is there now, and we are ready to destroy the stages," end quote. Devil Driver lead guitarist Mike Spreitzer adds, quote, "It's been a solid decade since I've shared the stage with John Miller, and I'm thrilled to have him back in Devil Driver. Without him, I probably wouldn't be in the band. He was one of the first friends I made when I moved to Santa Barbara in 1999. That eventually led me to joining Devil Driver. I'm very much looking forward to getting out on the road and having him with us again," end quote. Speaking on the departure of former bassist Diego Ashes Ibarra, Dez says, quote, "It's always difficult letting guys go in any line of work, but we thank Ashes for his time playing with Devil Driver on tour. I'm sad I had to let him go, but to make way for an original member was the right thing to do. We wish him the best, and he's a great guy," end quote. So I actually got to see Devil Driver, as far as I can remember. This was back in 2004 in their original lineup, and I actually got to meet Des Fafara back at that Ozfest. Great guy, and I've been following Des Fafara's career all the way back to Cold Chambers, so I like Cold Chamber. I'm a huge Devil Driver fan. I've got all their CDs. Physically have all their CDs. I've actually gone out and bought them all. So I'm looking for. Well, I take that back. I didn't buy the Outlaw Country cover one because meh.
Well, yeah.
But all of us, as far as all of their original studio LPs, I have all those. But so that'll be a tour that I'd be interested to go see if it comes anywhere near here. But I guess welcome back the original bass player, and good luck to the outgoing one. So he'll land on his feet. I'm sure he will.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You said bass. Did you say it was a bass player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We've talked to a few bands that talk about bass finding a bass player is kind of hard. So
Right. Yeah.
so
So hey, there. Yeah. Any
anybody
bands?
anybody with a devil driver in their resume should
Mhm.
land a job pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All right. One more at Blabbermouth. Knucklebones Incorporated and the Cliff Burton Estate will launch a Cliff Burton branded beer and a Knucklebones limited edition collectible statue with a portion of all proceeds going to the Cliff Burton Music Scholarship Foundation for Rising Youth Musicians. The beer is the first product to come out, with the pre-sales are now available. The Cliff Burton Cliffamal IPA beer, 6.4% alcohol by volume, is brewed at Calicraft Brewing Company and is now available for pre-order online at Craft Shack. Hyperlink in the story. A collaboration between the Cliff Burton Estate, Knucklebones, and Calicraft Brewing is the seventh beer in the Knucklebones beverage series, which combines the love of great beer with a devotion to great music. Brewed it to celebrate the music life and legacy of the master Cliff Burton. Cliffamal IPA is made in a classic NorCal style, hoppy, bold, and crushable, capturing the best of a classic West Coast beer, and made with Simcoe and Citra hops. This IPA pairs well with all forms of incredible music. The Burton family said in a statement, quote, continuing the mission of Cliff's father, the late Ray Burton, the Cliff Burton Foundation is centered on fostering the next generation of musical talent. We handpick young individuals from around the world with the same enthusiasm for music and dedication to their craft as the late bassist Cliff Burton had. Cheers to Cliff and Ray Burton, who loved a good beer, end quote. The Cliff Burton IPA will be available for fans in 40 states to buy online through Craft Shack. The Cliff Burton IPA beer ships nationwide with some exclusions based on individual state laws. Craft Shack is the premier online marketplace and platform for specialty craft beers and spirits delivered to your door. First 500 customers receive a free poster. Those are probably already gone. Cliff Burton fans who order first will receive a limited edition collectible poster included free with their order. The poster only ships to the first 500 customers. Why did you have to put that in the story 3 times in a row? I should have read that. I should have proofread this. Anyway, so another. There's not enough accolades that I think can be laid upon Cliff Burton. Same thing with, same thing with Randy Rhoads. There's not enough. There aren't enough honors that can be bestowed upon these guys. I mean, an iconic bass player, an iconic lead guitarist, both gone way too fucking soon. Neither one of them made it to 30. I mean, that's just mind-boggling to me. But, any of the honors, like I say, and the accolades and all the tributes and anything that's put out there, I think, are definitely well-deserved. Of course, when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame waits 40 years to do something for Randy Rhoads, that's a fucking problem. But we've harped on that. We've harped on that enough. But all right. And keeping with the beer theme, moving over to the PRP for a minute, alternative metal favorites Deftones have announced the upcoming launch of their 10th collaboration with California brewery Belching Beaver, which is just a visual you don't want. And updated take on their 2016 Phantom Bride IPA is set to serve as their next beverage. That limited edition double dry hopped hazy IPA was described by the brewery as follows, quote, this murky Phantom Bride has an incredible blend of intense tropical fruit, tangerine, and grapefruit with a rounded finish that doesn't linger too long. Combined with a juicy mouthfeel and pillowy soft bitterness, this beer pays homage to the OG Phantom Bride while being distinctive enough in its own right as a monster of a hazy beer. ABV 7.1, 16-ounce six-pack, end quote. It is currently set to be made available for California residents only with shipping starting on August 1st. It will also be made available through select distributors across the United States. You can pick it up here, hyperlink in the story. So, what's up, Bob? And good morning to you, Myrna. I did not miss your good morning there, but I was in the middle of a story when I first saw it. So good morning to Myrna, and good morning to my younger bro, Bob. Welcome to the show, you guys. Thanks for coming. Bob, my brother, and Jason, you guys both know that I've never drank alcohol in my life, but the description of some of these, you got all these fruit flavors and all this stuff. I mean, does that make a huge difference in the taste of beer? Because I genuinely do not know. I have no clue.
I think it depends on like what they're put. Like I'm not a big a fan of anything fruity with a beer. I think that needs to be pretty much saved for mixed drinks and stuff, in my opinion. But yeah, for a beer, to me, I'm not a big fan of it. But I have had like a blueberry flavored beer that was brewed locally that was actually pretty decent. But as far as like the lime and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I'm not real crazy about all that stuff. So
Okay, yeah. Because I mean, just reading the description, and even the description of the Cliff Burton one. I mean, I'm like, in my head, having no experience, in my head, I'm like, oh, does all this shit need to actually be in beer?
yeah.
And I literally have no
Uh,
idea. So I
It's
don't
like
know.
they're at a distillery and they're making stuff. It's like, hey, what do we got left over? Yeah. Just throw that
It almost does kind of seem like it. But good morning to Metal and Tats. Our friends from Metal and Tats are here with us. Good morning. Good morning. Craft beer snobs go crazy for those wacky beers.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like I said, not a favorite of mine. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I usually like my thing is like I don't drink a lot either, but when I'm out with friends or whatever, and we're at a place, and if I'm looking at a menu and or if the server says, "Hey, we got this special beer or whatever," and I'll try it. You know what I mean? But as far as like you and throwing beers of any caliber is pretty rare for me too. So
Yeah. It just reading the descriptions of those two beers, it kind of, I don't know if you've ever heard Dennis Leary's stand-up routines, but he's got a old stand-up special called Lock and Load, and
mm-hmm.
he's got a whole diatribe that he goes off on about specialty flavored beers and shit like that. So that's what it reminds me of.
And I just seen where Bob was talking about know people stand in line for that stuff, and then he said, but I'm sorry, but peanut butter and beer don't mix, which is kind of odd to me because if you've watched a Machine Head Friday night special where they did their little live thing on Facebook, he drinks peanut butter beer all the time. So that's one of
does it?
That's one of Rob Flint's favorites. So it's I've never tried a peanut butter beer, honestly. So I couldn't tell you, but I would think
Yeah,
that it would be definitely something you would have to have a taste for. So
yeah, I was about to say it's got to be an acquired
I
taste.
don't I don't
I have seen peanut butter beer
yeah,
on the I have seen peanut butter beer on the shelf at like Kroger and shit like that, but I don't know. It just I don't know, seems odd to me. But
which I guess that's another thing too. Is like when I'm in a grocery store, I'm like a supermarket sweep trying to get the hell up out of there. So
yeah, that's true too.
I'm running through it, throwing shit in, like get the hell out of here. But
Right.
I go to a smaller grocery chain like Food Line or something like that. So I don't really go to the big chain stores either. So
Right.
just mainly because it's so crowded in there. And like to me, like I haven't been to the Kroger over on this side of town in a while, but I know the one on the other side of town. We had to stop in there one night, and I said, "Man, these aisles are so small. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can't get two buggies through here, man. Like it's ridiculous."
And then people still, and then I get what you're saying. That it seems like they've kind of narrowed the aisles, get more stuff
Yeah.
in the store, but but then people still, you can't, like you say, you can't really get two carts down the aisle, and then you've always got that one asshole who wants to park their cart like this, and
Oh
then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Sideways.
how am I supposed to can't get by regular, but then you want to park like this, you just want to fucking ram them. Big things happening for Metal and Tats next June. Oh well, shit, we're definitely gonna keep our eye out for that.
Yeah.
We're excited for that. We'll definitely keep our eyes open for that. All right, staying over at the PRP for a little bit. Back to a little bit of Metallica news. Decorated thrash metal legends Metallica will be selling a limited edition 7-inch tall statue of the monster seen on the cover art for their 1984 single Jumpin' next week. Four fans figurines crafted 750 pieces of the handmade statue, which will be available via Metallica's first official merch store this coming Monday, July 25th at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Noon in the east. You can see some shots of it in the gallery below ahead of time, just so you guys don't have to do that. And there it is right there. Get a good look at it now. Yeah, get a good look at it now, because with only 750 of them made,
they won't be that long. So.
I guarantee you, if they go on sale at 9, they'll be sold out by 9:03. So, all depending on the speed of everybody's fucking internet connection. So, yeah. All right.
I seen where Kiss was. They got like a pre-order for one of their album covers. I can't remember which one it was, but Walmart's got the exclusive to it. So it's got all 4 band members, and then the album cover, like you've seen with Metallica and Guns N' Roses and all that other stuff. But the price of this thing, just because it says Kiss on it, is $145.
Holy
and I was
shit.
just like, I was like, screw that, man. I ain't paying that shit. I mean, I'm sure there's some Kiss fans out there that will, but there ain't no way. Because I mean, the Metallica was, the Metallica Black Album had all 4 members, and it was 50. And I thought, well, that's pretty good, But $150 now, I'm not.
Well, yeah.
I would never do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, $50. You divide that by 4. I mean, it's like $12.50. So I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that's totally fine.
Right.
All right, and last but certainly not least, over at the PRP, acclaimed Armenian-American alternative metal outfit Down have notched up some new hardware for their first 2 albums. New U.S. certifications have just been bestowed upon the band's 1998 self-titled debut album and its 2001 follow-up, Toxicity. First up, the RIAA have certified the band's self-titled outing 2X Platinum. It had previously attained platinum status back in February of 2002. Next up, landmark 2001 sophomore album Toxicity has been certified 6X multi-platinum. It had been certified 3X platinum on November 2. Why didn't they certify it 4X and 5X platinum is beyond me. I don't know how you go from 3 to 6 without mentioning it.
Maybe they're only doing it in 3s or something.
Maybe. I have no idea. A platinum album single.
9 times platinum next.
Yeah, right. A platinum album single in the U.S. represents 1 million units, while gold signifies 500,000. Outside of traditional physical/digital sales, the certifications factor in digital streams and downloads, with 10 permanent track downloads counting as 1 unit, and 1,500 on-demand audio-video streams from a particular album also counting as a unit. So congratulations to System of a Down. Now put your petty bickering aside and make some more fucking music.
Right.
So that's all the current events stories I have. I don't know if you had any headlines you wanted to go over real quick.
I do got a couple. Yes.
All right. Cool.
This one you'll be excited about. I just seen where Dope is releasing 2 new songs, the first in 6 years, and announcing a 3 album. So that's pretty cool. We actually talk about Dope a lot on here, how underrated they are. So
they really are.
It's pretty cool. Then Creator. So check this one out. Creator and Lamb of God are collaborating on a new song, State of Unrest. So that should be pretty killer.
Yeah.
Then Kerry King has bought rights to a company named Blood Rain, which has caused people to start a rumor that could be the band's new name that he's talking about working. So, and then Nile has 10 songs written for their next album. So that's probably going to be here pretty quick with that too.
Yeah.
So, and then I had the Chris Holmes thing, but you kind of covered that. So.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I mean. So that was like some of the head thing that kind of stuck out, but so it's a pretty cool stuff. Collaborations going on, and
yep.
Kerry King, of course, anything ex Slayer is going to be good. So
Yeah, yeah. I actually saw that story too. And I know he's chomping at the bit to get back out there. So I saw the story, probably the same story which you headlined, but I saw the whole Blood Rain thing.
mhm.
And he said he's going to be like revealing the band members, not too far
Yeah,
from now and stuff like that.
that's kind of why I didn't want to dig too deep into it because there's nothing like out there other than the name right now. So
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's just rumor. It's not really said. He hasn't come out and said, "Hey, this is the name of the band."
Right. Yeah. So
So I
yeah,
don't
we
want
don't
to go
don't
out
want
and
to don't want to
elaborate
speculate too
on.
much.
Yeah, I don't want to. We're not editors, so or we don't do editorials. So
Right. Yeah.
well, I mean, I guess we kind of do, but
Well, it's not our bread and butter, that's for sure.
well, I don't. Yeah, like I said, I'd rather have the whole story than to just because I mean, if you're doing a piece at a time, man, I'll be talking about this for 6 months probably. So
Yeah. Well, it was like when all the allegations started coming out about Marilyn Manson. At one point, we're just like, yeah, we're just done with this shit, So
yeah,
it just
yeah,
because it was just one after the
yeah,
other after
like I
the
said,
other. So,
yeah, like and there's something comes up where he got one of them dismissed or he goes to jail for any of it, then we'll report on it. Until then, I'm
sure. Yeah.
not too worried about it. Unless there's a verdict, there's no sense in beating it to death. So
Right. Yeah.
just like with every Megadeth story, they got to include. Well, Dave Ellison got kicked out of it. Well, no shit, and we know this already. That was 6 months ago. Good.
Dana at Metal and Tats just sent me a text and asked me if there's any word on on who the new Fear Factory vocalist is. Did
The
we
last
cover
I heard,
that?
no, last story I did with that, Dino Cavares was still going through auditions for that.
Yeah,
And
that's okay. That's what I thought.
I think if you remember right, he was actually talking about he even had female people, female vocalists auditioning. He said he wouldn't even rule that out. So
Right. Yeah, I
knows,
do. I
maybe
do
a female
remember.
vocalist in Fear Factory. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I
I
haven't
remember.
seen anything updated.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. That was a great question, Dana. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. But we will
Yeah,
now that you
we'll
put
try
that
to.
back on. Now that you put that back on the radar, we're gonna make sure uh, we do a better job of keeping our eye on that. Because Jason, now that you mentioned it, I do remember seeing a story where he said he was basically just leaving no stone unturned, and he wasn't even against using a quote
Mhm.
unquote unknown singer.
Right.
So yeah, that was the last thing I remember seeing. But yeah, good question, Dana. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Like I actually looked to see if there was. Yeah. The only thing they're talking about right now is they added some real drums to one of their previous albums, and then they reissued it.
Uh-huh.
But oh wait a minute,
Oh, did you find something?
I don't know how I would have missed that. Oh, never mind. It was a story from back in February, but it was nothing. It was a former Night Rage singer who auditioned unsuccessfully, and he said he claims he knows the identity of the person who had been chosen, uh, but uh,
Oh, okay.
but he didn't release it. So
Oh, okay.
of course not.
He says they were booking tours without releasing the name of the new vocalist. So
Hmm. And
that would
I'm sure it will. If they're booking tours before they go on tour, I'm sure that they'll pop that up and announce it. I'm sure. So
yeah. Sounds like it probably wouldn't be an announcement. Probably would be forthcoming relatively soon too if they're doing that. So
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what their tour dates look like right now. But,
nor I. But when they come out, we'll definitely put them in the hitting the road segment. That's for sure.
which is you still got stories, or that was it, or
Nope, that was it.
well, I guess we are in hitting the road segment now, so we can actually talk
Hey,
about it. I'm actually going to see if there's
segues
anything.
for days.
That's right. See, yeah, actually, it's started. They don't have anything scheduled until 2023.
Okay.
So I'm
There
sure
you
like
go.
maybe that'll be maybe that'll be our Christmas present. They're going to release their singer. So,
Maybe.
uh,
That may be.
all right. So hitting the road.
Mm.
Speaking of, I was wearing this shirt here, Chunder. If you never heard of that band, they were actually at one of the Metal Tats show that we went to a few weeks back. Um,
Yep.
I'm not sure if they're going to be there, but I know the band that was there, Meditators, is going to be at the upcoming show at Clarksville. So any of our
Mm-hmm.
local listeners, if you're familiar with the warehouse in Clarksville, they are closing the doors on that specific location. I'm not sure if they're going to relocate or what the plan is. I think that was the talk of it, but not sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What's going to happen there, but it's sad to see. 'Cause, I mean, that place has been there for 30 years or more, so
Mm-hmm.
or right at 30 years, wasn't it? I think it was like a
Yeah.
little bit,
30 years.
a little bit shy of 30. Uh, so it's a lot of bands. Like I said, a lot of bands have went through that. Went through that place that's pretty big name now. They probably uh, you know probably made their start coming through that territory. So
Yeah. But yeah,
definitely a lot of history there.
we got a chance to talk to the guys in Chunder and Meditator.
Mm,
Nice guys. Good. I
yeah.
mean, great bands, nice guys. So get out there and check them out if you can, if you're here in the local area. And if not, they're on YouTube, they're on Spotify, all that good stuff, man. Check their
Mhm.
music out.
And before I don't know if I've talked about this with you yet, but I started watching the show, which I know I've been talking about it forever, but that No Cover show with Lizzie Hale and Alice Cooper
Uh-huh.
and all. Yeah, so I started watching that, and there's a band on there, and I can't. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. 'Cause I don't want to name get their name wrong. I think that's the name of it. Let me see. I was hoping to remember the name of the band. Oh, that is them. Uh, it says here the Howling. I don't know if they changed their name or what, but I thought they had like a different name before. But I thought they had a different name on there. But on here that says the Howling. But they are. I'm not sure if that's them. It looks like them though. Anyway, there's a band on there. If you get to watch it, it's I think it's like the very first episode. So just if you want to watch any of the episodes, just watch the first one. There's a band on there called I thought they said their name was Howling Night. I could be wrong, but
Okay.
they are they we talked about this. And the reason I want to bring this up because we talked about this with Rick from Extinction AD,
Extinction AD. Yeah.
where he talked about how people are mashing up different genres of metal, and
Mm-hmm.
this was like really interesting when they started talking about it. I was like, what the hell? And then like they started playing, and I said, oh my god, it's actually worse. And like, but they took thrash and they mixed it with bluegrass, and like
Okay.
it sounds crazy, it does. But when I listen to it, I'm like, dude, this is actually good. I mean, this is just crazy good. But so they've actually they're going to be known as the inventor of thrash grass. That's what they're going to be.
Thrash grass.
So hey man, so whatever gets you out there, I guess. But I thought it was pretty
Hey,
interesting
someone's
to see something.
hey, there's always been somebody who's invented any genre. Someone
Yeah,
invented it. I mean, people
yeah,
credit Black Sabbath with inventing heavy metal. So say someone had to be the first.
right. But I thought it was pretty well. Like I said, it sounds like a crazy concept, but it actually pretty well. I was just like, wow,
Were there were
this is
there were
kind of
there were there were there banjos?
The dude plays an acoustic and headbangs with it, which is crazy. But yeah, it was pretty wild watching it. And I do
All
believe
right.
he was barefoot up there too. So it was kind of
I'm, he was barefoot too. All right,
yeah.
I may have to check that out. I don't really care for, and I know I know it's probably supposed to be like a metal centric show, but man, I don't watch those talent shows, and I don't watch award shows, even like the NHL awards and the the Golden God Awards. I don't watch award shows. I don't watch talent shows. I just don't have I have no interest in any of them, and that's just me. That's just a personal thing. But I may check that out, just to see, just to see, like you say, the beginnings of thrash grass. I may check that out.
Yeah, like I said, if you just want to listen to I'm pretty sure it was on the very first episode. So if you just watch the first episode, you'll be able to catch that on there.
Yeah, yeah, might do that.
I haven't watched round two. I haven't watched round two of all that yet. I got through the first round, but
Yeah.
it's really an interesting show. I actually thought it was going to be mostly hard rock and metal, but there's actually a few different genres involved in there. So,
Okay.
all right. So I guess we can talk about hitting the road here.
Yeah.
I only got like three, I think. One of them's kind of
Okay.
lengthy because it's like a different openers,
Okay, that's fine.
I guess the biggest one this week was Trivium announced a North American tour with Between the Buried and Me, Whitechapel, and Chemist, which that's going to be a pretty good
Hmm.
show.
Yeah.
That kicks off October 2nd in Boise, Idaho, at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center. Uh, it's like another one of those things like you talked about with these lengthy names. It's like it's already called Revolution Concert House. Why do you have to have Event Center on there too?
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's pretty much we pretty much know where it at, what it is. You don't have to
Yeah.
make it like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So,
Right.
and then that ends off that tour ends on November 10th in Los Angeles, California at the Wiltern, but they will be passing through Nashville on October 14th at the Marathon Music Hall. So if you're a big Trivium fan, or
Yes.
could,
Which is
I
cool
mean,
because
we
they were
are.
just, yeah, they are.
Yeah, they were just here in May. Yeah, so
Yeah. So yeah, that works.
it's just crazy of like the amount of concerts that are about to go down in the fall, man. It's like
Hmm.
I can't keep up with
I
them.
know, and that's the
Well,
funny thing is,
not only that way, but financially either. So,
that's the hard part, because like you're going to the festival, I'm going. I've already got tickets to two concerts in September. Then we want, there's one in August that we're trying to go to. You and I were trying to go see Anthrax for your birthday. Oh, spoiler alert, his
yeah,
birthday is coming up in August. So, so we're trying to go see Anthrax in August. We're going, like, I'm going to Slipknot, and I'm going to back to the Bay Strikes Back. You're trying to go to the festival. Then we've got that uh, we've got that festival at the beginning of October where we're gonna go see Eyes of the Living. Then I'm trying to go see Sabaton in October. And then there's like this Trivium. I wouldn't mind seeing Trivium again. So I mean, every week there's more tours that come out on top of the ones that we're already going to. So it's crazy.
all right. Then the
But
next one I have,
Trivium does like to come through Nashville. I'll give them that. They like to come
yeah,
through
they do.
Nashville.
And then the next one I had was Cannibal Corpse with Dark Funeral, Immolation, and Black Amble. They announced a fall tour. Um, that kicks off November 3rd at the Fillmore in Silver Springs, Maryland, and then that ends on December 10th at Janus Live at St. Petersburg, Florida. They won't be at Nashville, but they are coming to the concourse in Knoxville on December 8th. So, local Cannibal Corpse fans, here's a chance to see Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
This year anyway.
Right.
Then the last one I had was, or no, actually, there's one more. Sorry, I had Revocation, Goat Horror, Alluvial, and Creeping Death. They announced a 2023 European tour. These are the dates for the 2022 North American tour. and the 2023 European Tour. The North America Tour is kicking off on September 9th at Lee's Palace in Toronto, Ontario. And that ends on October 16th at the Enclave in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Then their 2023 European Tour kicks off on January 18th. And I'm going to kill all this because it's German, but Weisenbaden,
Yeah.
Germany, Schlotzkopf, something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then that ends on February 18th at Hanover, Germany, Falst. So. And then the last but not least, I had Napalm Death, Brugeria, and Frozen Soul announce a U.S. tour. Plus, I like the way they did this. They said Napalm Death, Brugeria, and Frozen Soul announce a U.S. tour. Plus, sometimes MDC and Cryptic Slaughter.
Yeah. I know.
Plus, sometimes.
Yeah.
These are the dates with Brugeria, October 12th at Santa Cruz, California at the Catalyst, and that ends on October 19th, Denver, Colorado at the Bluebird. Then with Brugeria, Frozen Soul, and MDC, that kicks off October 21st in St. Louis, Missouri at the Red Flag, and that ends on October 31st at Carrboro, North Carolina at the Cat's Cradle. Then we have them with Brugeria and Frozen Soul only. That kicks off October 1st in Athens, Georgia at the 40 Watt and actually ends on, November 1st. That actually ends on November 9th at the Basement East in Nashville. So they will be in Nashville. And then Brugeria, Frozen Soul, and MDC. That one will kick off November the 11th at Houston, Texas, the Scout Bar. And they just make a 4-date run through Texas here and end up on November 14th in Denton, Texas at the Rubber Gloves. And then last but not least with Brugeria and Frozen Soul only, or back to that. They kind of like go back and forth here for some reason. But then Brugeria and Frozen Soul, that kicks off on November 16th in El Paso, Texas. So that's over in Myrna's territory. Then that ends on November 19th in Los Angeles, California at the Belasco Theater, and Cryptic Slaughter will be at that show. So,
yep. That's one of those sometimes.
Yeah, that's one of them sometimes, yeah. So that was my hit the road contributions this week. So.
All right. Did you mention that the Napalm Death is coming to the Basement East?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, I must have completely spaced out on that. That's my bad. All right. All right. So hitting the road from the 16th through the 22nd to wrap this sucker up here. Starting out at the PRP.com, like always. Leading off, we have the Acacia Strain, Sanguisuga Bog, Year of the Knife, and Body Box. Going out starting September 9th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Yuki Club. Year of the Knife will not be at that show. Then the tour finishes September 26th in Washington, D.C. at Union Stage. There's no Nashville date on this tour, but they will be in Knoxville at the Concourse on September 26th. So, well, that can't be right. Hang on a second. They can't be in Washington, D.C. and in Knoxville at the same time. That's not how that works. I'm going to look that up at the end. I'm going to fix that. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
If they have a DeLorean bus, I mean.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up at the end of this segment and fix that. I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. Again, proofread your shit, man. That one's on me. Dayseeker, The Word Alive, and Mood Ring going out starting August 31st in Colorado Springs at Black Sheep, finishing September 17th in Tucson, Arizona at 191 Tool. No Nashville date, but they will be at Growlers in Memphis on September 12th. Rings of Saturn have canceled their summer touring plans in Europe and the UK due to rising transportation costs. Again, probably gas prices. Stick to Your Guns. They're going on a European and UK tour. The UK leg will be with Landmarks and Scowl as openers. Starting November 9th in London at the O2 Islington Academy, finishing November 13th in Bristol at Thekla. The European leg will be with Knocked Loose, Landmarks, and Soulblind as the openers, starting November 15th in Tilburg, Netherlands at 013, finishing December 10th in Hamburg, Germany at Ubel and Geforlich. Then we have Zao and Thought Crimes going on a mini tour in September, starting September 7th in Columbus at Ace of Cups, finishing September 11th in Morgantown, West Virginia at 123 Pleasant Street. Thought Crimes will not be at that show. That'll be a Zao-only date. No Nashville date on that tour. Nine Inch Nails has added Santa Barbara, California, and added a Santa Barbara, California date with Eves Two-More at the Santa Barbara Bowl to the touring itinerary. Rivers of Nile have added 8 headlining shows to their tour with the Contortionist. Those new tour dates are September 12th at Vino's in Little Rock, Arkansas, September 15th in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Launch Pad, September 19th in Reno, Nevada at the Alpine, September 25th in Des Moines, Iowa at Lefties, September 29th in Rochester, New York at Montage Music Hall, October 3rd in Columbus, Ohio at Ace of Cups, October 5th in Horseheads, New York at the L, and October 14th in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Concourse. So 8 new dates added to that itinerary. And, man, that venue in Knoxville, the Concourse, man, they get a ton of concerts going through there. God, they get a shitload of them. That's like at least the 3rd or 4th we've talked about just this week alone.
Was that? I'm sorry, I was trying to mess with my. I was getting some back or getting some feedback, so I was trying to figure it out what's going on, but I got it figured out now. So I'm sorry. Who was that you were just talking about? I saw
That's Rivers of Nile. They added 8 dates to their itinerary with the Contortionist. So,
cool.
Yeah,
I just think where Myrna said something about 9 Inch Nails. That's why I was asking. So,
yeah. Killswitch Engage has announced a trio of headlining shows around their Lamb of God tour appearance. Those dates are going to be September 19th in Charleston, South Carolina at Music Farm featuring Suicide Silence. September 22nd in Albany, New York at Empire Live featuring Suicide Silence and Libica. And October 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the House of Blues featuring Fit for an Autopsy and Visigoth. Jesus. Then Quicksand going on tour starting September 26th in Tampa, Florida at the Orpheum Theater, finishing October 23rd in Amityville, New York at the Amityville Music Hall. No Nashville date there. We have I Hate God, ACXDC. I have no idea. It's like ACDC, but instead of the slash, the lightning bolt, there's an X. So I don't know if they call it ACDC or if it's AC times DC. I have no freaking clue. Anyway, we have I Hate God, ACDC, and Savage Master going out starting September 16th in Austin, Texas at Lost Well, finishing October 2nd in Fayetteville, Arkansas at George's. No Nashville date there. Capra, The Grasshopper Lies, Heavy, and I Hate God going on tour in September, starting September 16th in Austin, Texas at the Lost Well, featuring I Hate God. Then ending a week later, September 23rd in Birmingham, Alabama at Furnace Fest. That is going to be Capra appearing only. And there's no Nashville date there. We have Bleed, Narrowhead, and Temple of Angels. It's a one-off. There's going to be a one-off show on August 1st in Denton, Texas at Rubber Gloves featuring Prize Horse. And then the rest of the tour starts October 14th in Bloomington, Indiana at The Bishop and finishes October 29th in Tampa at Crowbar. No Nashville date there. Speaking of Crowbar has announced the second leg of their fall tour. The openers have yet to be determined. That tour, the second leg of that tour is going to start October 30th in Hobart, Indiana at the Hobart Art Theater, finishing September 12th in Birmingham, Alabama at Zydeco. They will be coming to Nashville September 6th at the Basement East. Thy Art is Murder, Carnifex, Malevolence, and I Am going down under. Starting September 7th in Perth at Magnet House, finishing September 11th in Brisbane at the Princess Theater. No Nashville date for that tour.
It rhymes with Smolverine.
Yeah. It's got some smooth criminals down under. Then Cold has canceled the tour that we announced last week due to a tour bus and driver shortage. So, there you go.
Thought it was because cold can't perform in the heat.
As good a reason as any. I don't want to be outside in the heat either. Shit, I don't blame them. All right. Bad Omens and Avoid going on a mini tour starting August 29th in Flint, Michigan at the Machine Shop, ending on September 9th with their appearance in Alton, Virginia at the Blue Ridge Rock Fest. No Nashville date there. And here's one that I saw last night that is going to be a huge, huge bummer for you and I, Jason. You ready for this? I bet you're not ready for this. Warbringer, Heathen, and Misfire are going out on a West Coast tour starting September 13th. God. Right? Starting September 13th in Fresno, California at Strummers, finishing October 1st in West Hollywood, California at the Whiskey A Go. No Nashville date for that tour. That blows. That blows hard. Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, even Atlanta, St. Louis, Birmingham, something, but nope. Just staying out west. Voivod has been announced as the openers for Opeth's November European and UK tour, which starts November 10th in Copenhagen, Denmark at Grey Hall, finishing November 26th, in Lisbon, Portugal at Sla Tejo. That's all I have for the PRP.com. And moving over to a tour announcement that I got and also shared on Facebook. Angelus Apatrida, Nervo Chaos, and Hidden Intent are finally coming to the United States. They will actually be in Nashville. That is actually the start of the tour. They will be in Nashville on September 7th at the end. They will be finishing October 1st in Piedmont, South Carolina at Tribbles. And Jason, I think you and I are already putting, and there's another September show.
Yeah.
I think you and I are kind of tentatively putting a Knoxville road trip on the calendar.
That's in October though, right? The Knoxville.
No, it's September 30th.
Okay. I know it's toward the end or something. But.
Yeah, it's September 30th, and then the tour ends on October 1st. And if I remember right, that show in Knoxville is at the Concourse.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I think it is. So there's another show that we're probably going to try to go see because man, we have been flying the flag for Angelus Apatrida for a year and a half, ever since last February when their self-titled album came out. I mean, good God, it was such a good album. Happy to finally see that they're coming over to the United States. Then moving over to blabbermouth.net.
Didn't they say that was their first tour over here? I was saying, didn't they say that was their first tour here?
If it's not their first one, it's their first one in a while. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but
I thought when I seen the announcement, it said it was their first tour of North America. I was like, oh,
it probably is. So I definitely don't want to miss that. And then moving over to blabbermouth.net for the last little bit of news, Y&T have canceled their European tour to allow Dave Meniketti to have more time to recover from radiation treatments that he's going through with his cancer treatment. So that is that's the Hit in the Road segment for July 16th or July 22nd.
Right. All right. I guess we can get in our top 10 songs of the week here.
All righty.
So the topic this week was prison, and I'm going to after we run down this one, I'm going to do a treat for you guys, and I'm going to let you know what they're going to be today. So
nice.
So anyway, the top 10 metal songs, prison related. Of course, I kind of feel like this one we could have stemmed a little bit off of the one that we did, I guess, a couple months ago. It was what was it? It was I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know there were some prison songs and breaking the law and all that was involved. Actually, I could probably go to Spotify. I guess I need to do that anyway, so I can post the things on our the link set. But yeah, I can't remember what the actual title to that was, but I mean we could have stemmed from that too. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember which list you're talking about. I can't remember what the exact wording of it was either. So I don't know if it was. Can't remember if it was just crime or
Yeah, that was it. Crime. Yeah.
was it was crime? It was crime.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was crime. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. It was back a ways, actually. I was back further than I thought it was. All right. So anyway, we will.
Don't get ahead of us, Myrna. Don't get ahead of us.
What's she say? Breaking the law. Yeah.
Yeah, don't get ahead of us.
Copy and paste don't want to work today.
Oh no.
There's
Oh, there it is. All right.
there is one, and then when you go through yours, I'll give them a minute to go through that one. Then I'll put up the last week's outer space one,
Cool.
which was actually a pretty good one. So
Yeah, it was.
so did you have as much problem as you thought you were with this one? Because I know you said something about it was going to be tight.
Well,
the prison one.
you talked about prison, and I was just making like a joke about, you know.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I thought that. I was like, you can't tell in text, so I was just like,
Right.
See, like, making a joke.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
You said it's going to be tight, and I said, yeah, not for long though. So,
Right. Yeah. But actually, no, this one wasn't bad.
yeah, and to kick it off, Burnt Hose Surfers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, top 10 songs for prison. I do have a couple of added ones because I don't know if we may wind up crossing a few of these over. But we'll see.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, probably. My very first one was Lamb of God, 512. Of course, if you're not familiar with that song, that was about Randy Black getting incarcerated. So, and that was from Seven, Sturm and Drang from 2015. My second one was Evil, Incarcerated from Hell Unleashed in 2021. Next one was AC/DC Jailbreak from the 74 Jailbreak in 1984. Which was kind of weird. 74 Jailbreak was released in 84. So.
I know. Yeah, I always thought that was odd myself.
Then I went with the band name instead of the song title on this one. Alcatraz, Sword of Deliverance.
Nice.
From the album 5 in 2021. Then I went with Megadeth, Take No Prisoners from Rest in Peace 1990. Then I went with The Agonist, The Escape. That was from an album Prisoners in 2012. So
there you go.
Little double tap.
Yeah, got a twofer there.
And then I know we usually don't do this, and then but I couldn't kind of get around to not doing this, but mainly because I don't think we've ever used this song on a playlist. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna throw this one on there. But but this one's from Megadeth as well. It's Devil's Island from Peace Sells with Who's Buying in 1986.
Nice.
And then this one, I went with the band name again. Just for this, and I was like, oh wow, this band's actually pretty good. So I threw this on there. Band's called Shawshank. And
okay.
And the song was Fashion. It was actually just a single from 2021, and they just had another single come out, so maybe they're about to push an album. Hopefully, we'll have to check it out. So, and then the next one, and last but not least, I took Soulfly, Lethal Injection from Omen in 2010.
Wow. We didn't have a single overlap.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Dead serious.
Yeah. Well, I'll see where you stand before I give you my extras.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
That way,
yep,
we'll leave it as no overlap.
Yeah. I want to do one thing before I read mine off. Myrna, I know you're here in the chat right now. I just want to ask a quick question. Are both of our audio and video feeds coming through okay on your end? I just want to know for sure if we're broadcasting fine. So I just want to give her a second to answer that, because I just want to make sure. There's been a couple times on, as far as like on my feed here at my house, there's been a couple times where where your audio and video has been a little choppy, and I've been afraid that I've missed something that you said. So I just want to get somebody else's, like somebody who's watching the feed right now, if someone can tell us if the feed is going through cleanly or not. So Myrna, if you're
I haven't seen anything since the beginning. Like the beginning of the show, you were kind of choppy too, and then
I
haven't seen since then. So
okay. Huh. I wonder what the issue is with that then.
it's probably just StreamYard.
Yeah, it might be. All right. Well, I'll give her a second to answer, but I'll go ahead and get started. But yep, we didn't have any overlaps, which I am surprised. It doesn't happen with us too often, but that's kind of a good thing.
Right.
Anyway, all right, leading off, and this one may surprise some people, but I have said before that this is really the only album by this band I care for. I went with Prison Sex by Tool off of Undertow from 1993. Let's see. Yeah, but like today Octavio hasn't been on. It's clear on this end, but there was like sometimes extra audio. Okay. All right, we may have to try to address that with Tiffany and Dan or something, because like watching myself on my end, I'm not experiencing any choppiness. So I mean, I don't know how to rectify that. I really don't. But
well, at the beginning, we were both like stopping and freezing, like on my, and then like you started like you were talking, but I couldn't hear anything. Like I could, and then like after like for just like a minute, and then everything came right back through. So it's got to be something with the actual feed from the platform. So
yeah, it's got to be okay. All right, we'll address that.
Thank
you.
Dan and them may be remedying that themselves here soon. So.
They might be. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that, Myrna. I appreciate it. And speaking of Myrna and getting ahead of us, the next one I went with was Breaking the Law by Judas Priest off of British Steel from 1980. Then I had Before the Hangman's Noose from Devil Driver off of The Fury of Our Maker's Hand from 2005. Then I had Prisoner of the Void by Iron Savior off of Unification from 1999. Then I had The Prisoner by Iron Maiden off The Number of the Beast from 1982. Then I had Prison Song by System of a Down off of Toxicity from 2001. Then getting all sorts of Megadeth love today, we have Captive Honor by Megadeth off of Countdown to Extinction from 1992. Then
what do you mean life?
Right, yeah. Then this one may seem a little blasphemous to some people, but I went with Hallowed Be Thy Name, the Machine Head cover off of The Blackening from 2007. And I say blasphemous because I actually like Machine Head's version better. So there, I said it. It's my opinion. And who was the wrestler said that's my opinion and you're entitled to it or something like that? I don't know.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But yeah. So like I say, maybe a little blasphemous to say I like Machine Head's version better than the original by Iron Maiden, but I do. So, sue me. Then I had Ride the Lightning by Metallica off the album of the same name from 1984. And then I had, then last but not least, I went with Clemency Denied by Hatriot off of The Veil of Shadows that was released yesterday. Oh, that's right. Spoiler alert. Yep, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And then my honorable mentions, I went a little off board. Not necessarily prison with these two, but still, in the same vein of being locked up. Then I went with Madhouse by Anthrax off of Spreading the Disease from 1985, and I went with Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies off the album of the same name from 1983. So
that's why I drink water. I can't get a Pepsi.
I'm telling you, man.
The two honorable mentions, the reason I wanted to wait because I don't seem surprised you didn't have this song on your list, but one of the honorable mentions I had was Skid Row 18 in Life.
I actually I thought about
Maybe
that
not.
one.
And then the second one I had was Sentenced, the Noose from Down in 1997.
That would have been a good one.
So
Would
I
have been
had
a good
both
one.
of those as honorable mentions there. So we wound
Nice.
up with 24 instead of
That's right.
or
Nice. Well,
then if you want to like show some more Megadeth love, we can throw Kick the Chair in, or
yeah. Oh yeah.
there's a lot
Hell,
of
I could have
Megadeth.
thrown Head Crusher in there. So I mean,
There's a lot of Megadeth love you could have threw in this one, I think. So
oh yeah.
so that was the top 10 for this week.
Yep.
So
Right.
next week, since you wanted to bring up wrestling, next week in honor of SummerSlam, actually in our hometown of Nashville.
Uh-huh.
I thought we haven't done this on here before, so I thought we would do a wrestling themed top 10 next week. So
Nice. That's fantastic. I like it.
so it could be something they've used on a pay per view or an entrance theme or whatever. So
Hell yeah, man. It's gonna
it's
be
gonna
great.
take a little bit more deep diving if we try to figure out what song that they used in certain pay per views. But
Yep.
anyway, so
Of course,
it's fun to kind of reminisce too. So
Of course, I will say this: if we're just doing a wrestling theme, even though SummerSlam is a WWE pay per view, we won't have to keep it strictly to WWE.
no. That's why I
yeah,
said wrestling. So I mean,
yeah,
because
so that'll help.
So actually we have SummerSlam, which is crazy. We have SummerSlam here in Nashville on the 30th, and then the 31st we have NWA at Municipal Auditorium for Ric Flair's last match.
Shit! I forgot about that. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
And what's crazy is I had a friend of mine actually hit me up yesterday, and his wife's not going, so he wanted to know if I wanted to tag along. So I guess I'm going. So,
well, shit, I don't blame you, man. I mean, fucking Nature Boy is styling and profiling one last time, man. Hell yeah.
It's actually a pretty good card too. I was looking at it, I was like, oh wow, it's a pretty decent card. So
nice.
So looking forward to it. And it's kind of like, I spent so long wrestling, and I never go to shows because I'm always afraid that something's going to hit me, and I want to go back and get in the ring, and I know it's probably not what's best for my body. So it took me just long to be able to walk without hunched over. So.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go back to that route.
I do the same thing with like I've got a lot of friends on Facebook, obviously, that I've played hockey with over the years, and a lot of them still play, and due to the back issues that I have, I really at least the condition that my back is in right now, I can't really play anymore. So I mean, I don't go to the rink anymore because I know for a fucking fact that the bug would bite me. I know it absolutely would. So I know exactly what you mean.
That's one of the things I was afraid of too when they asked me to do that match a month or so ago. They were just like, I said, hey, I told them straight. I was like, hey, it's probably only going to be a one-time thing. So, they said, well, that's fine. That's kind of. So I went, I did it, and I was kind of like surprised that I didn't. I mean, I kind of did, but then I knew, you say things like, oh man, I'm gonna go back. Then of course, in your mind, you're like, no, I can't do that. So as long as you know in your mind that you really don't need to be doing that, then I guess that's okay. But I'm actually never going to rule out another match because that's one of the reasons why I never when I did finally kind of walk away, I didn't retire. I didn't do this big retirement thing because for one, I was 42. And I said, people do this in their 60s. So, it's never, I'm never going to say retire because there's always a way that it kind of pulls you back in. Even if it's not wrestling, it pulls you back into ref or manage or something. So I never said retire. I kind of did it as a farewell match, which was pretty much, me trying to say farewell to that chapter in my life and move on to trying to pursue acting a little more, which which I'm still kind of still working on that. With the pandemic hitting and all that stuff was a little harder. Starting to look up a little bit now, so trying to get back into doing some of that stuff here for too long. But like I said, you can't if you love something so much though. Like you know, if you was hockey and then you were doing like say this. Not saying you would do that, but I'm just saying this. But if somebody you were able to do hockey and it was on a Saturday, we probably wouldn't be doing Saturday morning shows. We would probably be working around whatever you wanted to do hockey. So you'd have probably been like, "No, man, I can do Saturday mornings. I'm hockey." Okay. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying though is like that
I
part
know. I totally get it. Yeah.
life was was front and center. So
Mm-hmm.
me and wrestling was front and center for so long. It was hard
Mm-hmm.
not to try to. I mean, it's really hard to say anything when they ask you. So it's kind of like, oh, man, I
Right.
don't want to, but
Yeah.
I do want to. I don't want to. It's kind of one of those.
Right. Yeah, I played hockey for like 30 years, and then like not being able to really play it anymore just because your body won't let you. Your mind is like, yeah, I'm in. Then your body's like, the fuck you are. So
Right. Yeah, you say.
yeah. So yeah, I totally get it.
Then
But yeah,
I
that'll be a great top 10 segment.
And then I just seen where an old place that I used to wrestle for, Saul, is actually cranking back up here pretty soon too. So that's going to
Oh,
be
no
interesting.
shit.
Yeah, so it's
Nice.
it's kind of like a lot of stuff going on that's kind of get you in the feels of
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
reminiscing. So
Yeah.
I think I just keep watching the videotapes and say, hey, that's me. I did that, and just move on. So,
Yep.
and I love doing this.
Yeah.
So I would never jeopardize this for. Actually, I've actually turned down some things because of the show. So that's how much this means to me. It's like,
yeah.
so just
Yeah.
to let
Same.
you
There's
know,
been
I've actually turned down acting jobs for the show because it's like, no, I'm doing the show. You can't guarantee me that anything after noon. Then I'm not really down for it.
Yep. Yeah. This is not to get all sappy, but this is kind of a labor of love for us, and we don't want anything fucking it up. So. Yep.
Right. Yeah, it's like you kind of build the follow. You kind of build a following too, and it's kind of like you don't. You kind of feel like you're letting those people down if
Mm-hmm.
you don't follow through with what you're doing. So I mean, if we went
Yeah.
off tomorrow, we would probably be. First off, Dan would be on the phone probably with us.
Right.
What are you guys doing?
Right. Yeah. Hey,
But anyway, so yeah, kind of got sentimental there for a minute, but
I was just given a special delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah. French fries. Look at that shit. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, so I mean, like at the beginning of this month when I went down to Louisiana, even I was like, I had to really think really, really long and hard about that. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one. I mean, that one was even up in the air for a little bit, but it's definitely not something we're going to make a habit on if we can absolutely positively help it at all. Because this is, I mean, this is what Jason and I mean, not to take any words out of his mouth or put any words into his mouth, but man, I look forward to every Saturday morning. I look forward to Saturday morning all week long. So yeah,
it's just cool. I mean, honestly, it's something we were already doing around a campfire. Kind of around a fire pit. I wouldn't say campfire, but around a fire pit.
Yeah.
Every Friday night anyway. So
yep.
It's just kind of our way of sharing our stories with the world, I guess.
Yeah. And we've literally made friends all over the world because of it. So
yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that, really.
Yep. All right, I guess we can move on to our album review segment. I'll be sure, man. I don't think you're ever too old for metal. So.
Nope. Metal for
life. That's one of the things. Like you look at it, it's like with acting and this it's like people say, "Oh, where you get too old." Like, how do you figure? Like Samuel L. Jackson was like 48 before he got his like breakthrough role, and and I think Morgan Freeman was in his 50s. So you can't be too old. I mean,
and the funny thing is both of the funny thing is both of those guys look like they're still in their 40s and 50s.
They do look good, yeah. Especially
Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's like 74, and he doesn't even look like he's out of his 50s. It's fucking nuts.
And he stays active.
He does. Yeah, he does. Oh, before we get into the album review segment, we got to make sure we do the history. We gotta gotta not forget that.
God, don't forget that. I'm glad you reminded
me. We can do it. We can do it next. That's fine. We just got to make sure we don't forget.
No, we'll go ahead and knock it out. So,
okay, that's fine.
Actually, I had it sitting over here to the side to do that, and shit. All right.
I've actually got just a little less than 2 pages today, so we'll be able to get through this relatively quickly.
Yeah, so. I had a little bit of notable moments in history today.
Nice.
So,
okay.
All right. So this one I threw in here just because of the context of it. So you'll get it in just a second. But July 17th, 1987, the Ozzy Osbourne band started a 16 tour of U.S. prisons. How relevant that popped up, right?
Yep. No shit.
I thought that was kind of crazy because we had already talked about the top 10, and I was just like, oh wow, that is just so wild. I have to put that on there. I never knew that was there when we came up with the top 10. So it's kind of
It's funny how it's funny how stuff lines up sometimes.
It is, yeah. All right, July 17th, 1993, Guns N' Roses appeared at River Plate Stadium in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in front of 80,000 people, the final show on their Use Your Illusion tour. A highlight of the night was English drummer Cozy Powell playing drums with Matt Sorum, dressed as a Domino's pizza delivery boy.
What? Awesome.
That's what it said. I was just like, that's kind of funny. That's got to be go down in a memorable moment. Imagine the people in Buenos Aires talk about that. Hey, remember that? Remember when Cozy Powell dressed up like a pizza delivery?
Yeah. It's weird they would have. It's weird they would have
July
chosen
18th, 1978.
It's weird they would have chosen Argentina to do that, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh well, maybe that's where Cozy Powell was at the time. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe he was actually delivering pizzas and just hey.
He may have been, yeah.
The 18th of July, 1978, Def Leppard made their live debut at Westfield School in Sheffield, England, in front of 150 students. So just to let you know that you go from that to playing stadiums.
Everybody starts somewhere.
That's right. July 18, 2001, Kiss added another product to their ever-growing merchandising universe, the Kiss Casket. The coffin featured the faces of the 4 founding members of the band, the Kiss logo, and the words Kiss Forever. And, of course, Pantera guitarist Dimebag Darrell was buried in one after he was shot and killed on stage in December of 2004. July 19, 2010, Ozzy Osbourne and his former Black Sabbath bandmate Tony Iommi settled a long-running legal dispute over the use of the group's name. Ozzy had filed suit against the guitarist in May of 2009, accusing Iommi of falsely proclaiming to be the sole owner of the Black Sabbath name by lodging an application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. The pair released a joint statement confirming they have settled the dispute amicably, which was on Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
July 20th, 1940, Billboard's first comprehensive record chart was published. The magazine had previously published bestseller lists submitted by the individual record companies, but the new chart combined the top sellers from all major labels. So it's been going on since 1940.
Nice.
So 82 years.
Yeah, that's a damn long time.
So we still talk about this band has been on Billboard's top 200. So
yes, we do. It's definitely still relevant. It absolutely is.
Exactly, yeah. So ain't many things can say that you're still relevant after 80 years.
Yeah.
20th, 2017, Linkin Park lead singer Chester Bennington died at the age of 41. His body was found at a private home. Bennington apparently hanged himself. I always like the way they say apparently. Just saying. The singer was said to be close to Soundgarden vocalist Chris Cornell, who took his own life in May of 17. Uh, Formed in 1996, Linkin Park has sold more than 70 million albums worldwide and won 2 Grammy Awards. That's, to me, like Linkin Park was so, I guess, unique that I think it's going to be hard for them to ever replace Chester in the band.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. Before, if I'd stop bumbling over myself there for a second, I don't know what that band's future is really going to look like. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think they just need to move on to different stuff, in my opinion. But
yeah, I think that's what I foresee happening.
then, last but not July 21st, 2007, Sharon Osbourne's music mogul father, Don Arden, died in a Los Angeles nursing home at the age of 81. Dubbed the Al Capone of pop for his uncompromising business practices, he steered the band Small Faces, Black Sabbath, and ELO to stardom. So he actually had his hand in a little bit of all genres, it's like. So
yeah, but was a fucking crook.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah. He absolutely was. All right. This Week in Metal History, brought to you by This Day in Metal on Twitter and Dr. Feelgood and Ms. Hyde on Facebook for the week of, well, technically the 17th through the 23rd, but I've got some stuff from last Saturday because as of last Saturday morning, there wasn't anything listed for the 16th. So I brought those with me this week. So July 16th, 2001, Judas Priest releases Demolition. Sonata Arctica releases their second studio album, Silence, and the Choir Boys release their third studio album, This Is Rock and Roll. July 16th, 2021, Powerwolf releases Call of the Wild. And July 16th, 2013, Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals released their debut studio album, Walk Through Exits Only. Moving ahead to the 17th, July 17th, 2007, Great White releases their 10th studio album, Back to the Rhythm. And Lillian Axe releases their 6th studio album, Waters Rising. Moving ahead to the 18th, July 18th, 2006, Luca Turilli's Dream Quest releases their debut studio album, Lost Horizons. July 18th, 2008, Kiss and Dynamite releases their debut studio album, Steel of Swabia. Moving ahead, July 19th, 1998, Mesmerize releases their debut album, Tales of Wonder. July 19th, 2006, Nuclear Warfare releases We Come in Peace. July 19th, 1990, Tankard releases their 4th studio album, The Meaning of Life. And July 19th, 1994, Marilyn Manson releases his debut studio album, Portrait of an American Family. Moving ahead, July 20th, 2010, Elegion releases their debut album, Fragments of Form and Function, and Lillian Axe releases their 8th studio album, Deep Red Shadows. July 20th, 2012, Black Majesty releases Stargazer. July 20th, 1989, Lillian Axe releases their 2nd studio album, Love and War. And July 20th, 2007, The Agonist releases their debut studio album, Once Only Imagined. Moving ahead, July 21st, 2017, Winter Sun releases their 3rd studio album, The Forest Seasons. And in this moment releases what's probably my favorite, their 6th studio album, Ritual, which debuted at number 23 on the Billboard 200.
Hopefully their next album is better than their last one, that's for sure. So,
yeah, let's hope so. July 21st, 1998, Pain of Salvation releases their 2nd studio album, 1 Hour by the Concrete Lake. July 21st, 2009, Dynasty releases their debut studio album, Bring the Thunder, and Stryper releases their 7th studio album, Murder by Pride, which debuted at number 73 on the Billboard 200. See, still talking about it. And moving ahead, July 22nd, 2003, Skid Row releases their 4th studio album, Thick Skin. That's kind of a bummer, that was only their 4th studio album in 2003, considering their first album came out in 1989 and they only released 4 studio albums in 14 years.
What was that? Who was that?
Skid Row.
Oh yeah,
Skid Row.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame that all that shit went on between, Sebastian Bach and the rest of the guys, because by the time this album came out, he wasn't even in the band anymore, but it still took 14 years to get to their fourth studio album. It's just crazy.
Well, I
Kind of a,
think the thing is you find a vocalist that's going to put them back to where they were with Sebastian. I just don't think it's going to happen. So
it would take a lot of luck, I think. I know that they've got another new singer, and without looking, I'm wanting to say his name was like Eric Gronwall or something like that. I don't know too much about him, so I haven't heard him, so I don't know what he sounds like.
well, they just released a new song with him, so
yeah. So I may have to look that up, but you'd be
bad,
hard pressed. Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find a voice like his.
That's one of the reasons I said that, because I heard the song and I'm just like, these guys have like spent all this time trying to find the Sebastian Bach when they just need to patch up things with Sebastian Bach. So
yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing is knowing what I know, it's probably mostly Sebastian Bach's issue, but
I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, and last but not least, I've got today's date, July 23rd, 2001. Elven King releases their debut studio album, Heathen Reel, and July 23rd, 2013, the Winery Dogs released their self-titled debut studio album. So those are the historical releases for July 16th through July 23rd. This week in metal history.
All right, now I guess we're ready for album reviews.
Yes.
Thanks for actually reminding me of that, though, because I know we've gotten into spots where we forget that.
Yeah, we have forgotten that segment a couple times, I think, but
it's crazy because I separated out and I have it sitting here, so I don't know why. I mean, I actually the last time we forgot it, I was looking over and I seen it sitting there face up, and I said, "Shit, we didn't do that." Oh, and it was after the show was over. I told you, I said, "You know what? We didn't do history." Goes, oh my god, we didn't.
It's fine. Another one of those little happy accidents, doing everything live.
Right. That's one of the things that we talked about that's probably going to wind up being one of the segments we wind up drifting away from.
I see it happening
anyway, because I mean, you just unless it's something that happened this year to report next year, then we'll kind of touch on it. But I mean, this stuff,
sure.
Some of this stuff I don't remember reporting on before, but I could have. But then some of it's just I think is that important that we need to be taught. Needs to be.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, there will be some things that we kind of like to commemorate the anniversary of every year. Like Ozzy biting the head off the bat, and the Randy Rhodes's airplane accident, shit like that. So things that huge moments in metal history, that need to be remembered or celebrated or whatever. But yeah, we're not gonna rehash the same thing every year just to keep the segment going. So because I have my entire notebook here of everything I talked about last year. So I weed through this every week to see if there's any that are that weren't available last year. So that's why my lists keep getting shorter, because I've already got this. I already reported on it once. I'm not going to do it again.
Right. All right. So this we can kick into album reviews. I actually got through 2 this week. So
nice.
I don't know how much you got through, but I did get through
1.
2. So. 1.
And I wasn't able to overachieve this week with being sick. So
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So the first album that I listened to was a band called Source of Rage. The album is Witness the Mess. Source of Rage are a melodic death metal band formed in 2010 in Hildesheim, Lower Saxony, Germany. Current members, and I apologize if I screw anybody's name up beforehand. So I should be okay, but we'll see. Current members are Thilo Cross, or Krause. I guess it's Krause. So
I think Kraus. I think you had it right. Yeah.
Krause, bass player. The reason I wanted to get it right because evidently they're all related. So
Okay. There you go.
Rico Krause on drums and Marco Krause on guitars from 2010 to 2014, and then he switched over to lead vocals in 2014 to the present. And then Oliver Rothman on guitars. So he's the only one that's not the. Well, I mean, he may be a family member, but he's not the same last name. So, which is crazy because you see brothers a lot.
Oh yeah.
In and I'm not sure if those are brothers or not. I didn't do that much research, but to see three of the same name is kind of wild.
Yeah.
But this is the band's second full-length album, which is kind of crazy. They've been around since 2010. This is just their second album, which is pretty wild. I mean, they had a couple of EPs and singles in between, but this album was 10 songs, 49 minutes, 19 seconds. Started out with a minute 14-second instrumental intro. How we feel kind of about those most of the time, and they kind of flow into the next tracks. So, but still like those to be like a little longer, or I guess it must be the thing now where they just have to. I guess it's the way they track it. I guess they have to do it that way. Maybe I don't know, but
I don't know.
I'm starting to be a little bit more lenient with that. Just trying to be more understanding. I'm trying to be more understanding because I mean I give it shit, but maybe something they can't control. So.
Maybe that I don't know. Maybe that comes from the label. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
really
what I'm saying.
don't.
Like, I mean, it's just crazy though because it's like this one, the instrumental like never. It's like it never ended. It just flowed right into the next track. So, it wasn't like it ended and then the next track popped up and with a different sound. It flowed right into the next one. So,
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of good that way, but. Honestly, this I hear more thrash than I did death metal. At least on this album, I don't know if maybe the earlier vocalists were more death metal or if there is some death metal presence, just not enough to label them a death metal band. I don't think the more thrash metalcore melodic maybe. But I did really like this album. It definitely feels like these four guys took you in the alley and kicked the shit out of you. So, definitely was. It didn't lack of anything. Once it got kicked in, it was kicked in. It wasn't taking the foot off the gas. So, which is good. So I always like that in a way, if it works out good, where you kind of like throw a ballady type thing somewhere in there. But yeah, I think with their style of music, it worked really well just to kind of grab hope, hang on. So
nice.
Seriously, I think this is a must listen for you guys. I'm actually going to give this one 4.5 horns. So.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so it was definitely pretty impressive. I think if it wasn't for the instrumental, it may have got a perfect score, honestly. So, but yeah. So. And then the
right,
second album,
and who was that again?
Source of Rage.
Source of Rage. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Then the second album was Villain of the Story. The album was divided. Which, Villain of the Story is an American metalcore band from Minneapolis, Minnesota. The band consists of co-lead vocalist Christian Gray and Logan Bartholomew, guitarist Cody Paul, and bassist Sean Wayne. And didn't say anything about the drummer, which is weird.
That is weird.
I have to look at that. But anyway, that's all it said. So whatever. I copied and pasted it from their website. So. Excuse me. So this is the band's fourth full length. 8 songs, 30 minutes, 40 seconds. So it's kind of short. They do cover by metal genre vocally, I believe. They got to go through a very very much the variety of vocal styles in this one. So but they do go from like the gutturals to the cleans and the screams very well. It just flows the way they do it. It flows really well. Definitely they metal chorus. Uh, the guitars, like, they'll crunch and they'll wail right when they need to, and then of course the timing of the drumming and spots is spot on. Um, Especially with the way they kind of like shift sounds within this. It's really I could see how it would be really hard to keep up timing with the way they shift things really really fast on him. So definitely going to go check out the other three albums to see what they were doing on those. But of course, on this one too, the album art's pretty cool. If you want to check that out, of course, we may be talking about that before then. Here anyway, but so the other thing I would say is I wished it was a little longer, 8 songs, 30 minutes,
Mhm.
40 seconds. I kind of wish it had a little bit, at least like 10 songs, 45-minute mark maybe, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. So, you can't, I say that because I don't know why I say that a lot, really, because I grew up with like Metallica and stuff with 8, 9 songs on albums, but
Uh-huh.
but I think we done got used to like that frame where we were in the '90s and we got 12 and 13 songs on everything. And
Yeah.
of course, like Five Finger puts out stuff now with 15 on it. So if
Mhm.
Slipknot put out 15 on their last one, which we can
Technically,
maybe
yeah.
13, yeah, 13 really, but anyway, I'm gonna give this one 4 horns. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. Sorry, I say it wasn't good. It wasn't bad at all. I really enjoyed it. So definitely 2 albums which you should probably check out. So.
Nice. You can't ask for much more than that.
Oh,
Except if
definitely.
except if I am gonna add a third.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. I did just get through the one. And I went with the new album, The Veil of Shadows by Hatriot. I've heard of this band before, and I know that we've talked about this before on this show, talking about, Jason and I just being, regular guys. We're not pros at this. This isn't our job. Even though we wish it was, we can't listen to everything. We don't know everyone. And this is a perfect example of that. And you'll find out why in just a second. I have heard of Hatriot before, but this is the first time I've ever sat down and listened to them. So having heard of them before, since I saw they had a new album, I was like, all right, I'm finally going to sit down and listen to one of their albums. They're a thrash metal band formed in Oakland, California in 2010. Their lyrical themes include death, murder, and war. And you're gonna see exactly what I was referring to in just a second. Because having never heard this band before, any of their music, I was listening to it last night. I was like, holy shit, this sounds a lot like Exodus. Well, guess who just happens to be in the band? Steve Souza's 2 sons. Cody Souza is the bass player and the vocalist. Nick Souza is on drums. You have Costa V on guitars and Kevin Patterson on drums. So the good thing is I still have a good ear because it sounded like Exodus. 2 of the lead singer's sons are in the band. So so it just goes to show, I don't know everyone's name. I don't know every band out there. It's just a perfect example of it. This band is new to me. They've been around for a while. This is their fourth full-length album. Their debut album, Heroes of Origin, came out in 2013. Dawn of the New Centurion rather came out in 2014. From Days Unto Darkness in 19, and The Veil of Shadows yesterday. The album is 11 songs long, 42 and a half minutes. I mean, I hate to say this because I'm pretty sure this isn't what they were going for, but this is basically Exodus light. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I mean, it's hard charging. You got the galloping double bass. You got the fucking powerful guitars. The only thing that's different from some of Exodus's stuff is track number 10 is called Murderous Tranquility. It's 2 minutes and 19 seconds long. It's kind of a more ballady slow tempoed instrumental, which I was not expecting at all, especially with a name like Murderous Tranquility. But so that kind of caught me off guard, not necessarily in a bad way. But other than that, I mean, I'm not really sure what else you would really expect from, two sons of the lead singer of Exodus, man. I mean, it's a fantastic thrash album. I loved it. I'm going to give it, 4 horns out of 5, so.
I think it's like
I mean,
like we talked before.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, like we talked about before, with Steve Souza on vocals, which is very, he has a very unique style of vocals. So, if you had anybody, even if they weren't his sons, that sounded like Souza, you would still be pretty amazed, I think. So, it's because, like you said, that just like with what we talked about with Devil, is like, we hate comparing bands to other bands, but when we heard some of their stuff, we were like, oh, this sounds like a Vince Sevenfold. And then when I talked to you about it, I was just like, yeah, but how many people sound like a Vince Sevenfold? I mean, there's
not a bunch,
none that I know of.
Yeah.
So
the funny thing is when we had them on the show, I mean, they took zero offense to that at all, because they were like, they were one of our huge influences. So I mean, they didn't take any offense to that at all. So, but I mean, Cody, he sings just like Steve. I mean, he's got that gravelly, high pitched, style that he does, and then at certain parts of the songs, he'll do that. Oh, where to sleep? That really low. He'll just pull that out. He does the same thing that Steve does. It sounds exactly like him.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean, because Exodus are getting up there. So I mean, they're not going to be around forever. So
right.
Like what I'm saying is, like, for these younger bands to come and sound like those bands, it's cool because they're going to keep that sound alive.
Yeah.
And then other people, maybe younger people that don't know Exodus are listening to this now going, oh, wow. And then if they listen to this show, they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, then I'll start listening to Exodus. So then, Exodus picks up new fans after their 40-year career. It's like, it's possible. I mean,
it'd be a triple win.
Well, yeah, because, like I said, anytime you get compared to somebody that's unique like that, it should not be taken into offense. It should be an honor,
right? Because we definitely don't mean it that way. That's why I say I didn't want to use the term Exodus Light, but I mean, like I say, it's it's Steve's sons. I mean, they're in a thrash metal band just like he is. I mean, it's just it is the furthest thing from a bad thing as far as I'm concerned.
That's kind of what pisses me off about Corey Taylor's son getting so much shit about sounding like Corey. I'm just like, well, fuck, it's his son. What do you think he's going to sound like? I mean, and he does sound a lot like Corey. A lot like Corey. If you haven't heard of the band Bended, that's Corey's son's band, but and I have heard a few of their songs. I was like, oh, this is a Slipknot song. I haven't heard all of it. Oh, it's Bended. Never mind. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that though, man. Because like I said, Corey Taylor's got the same style. Not many people can sound like Corey Taylor. So I mean,
right. Yeah. And Corey's son actually got up on stage and performed with them at their first show, or I think it was in Bucharest. I think that's where it was. So he got up on stage and performed with them. So that was pretty cool. That's probably I would say that would have had to have been like a goosebump inducing moment for him. So it would have been for me. I probably would have been nervous as shit. But yeah, and another thing that I like is they took the name of the band, Hatriot, from one of the lines out of Star Spangled Banner.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty fun, cool. So, but yeah, 4 horns out of 5. If you're even a casual Exodus fan, give it a listen.
Yeah, I actually posted one of their songs into the playlist this week. So
I saw that, yeah. But yeah, and track 5, Clemency Denied. That album The album's only been out a day, and when I listened to that song last night, I was like, "Holy shit, it fits!" And I fucking love the song. It's going on the list. I don't care if it's a decade old or a day old. It was a badass
Man,
song.
that
And it
matter,
fit with
yeah.
the list. Yeah, that's why it went on there.
If it fits, it fits.
Yeah, and it
All
did.
right, so what do we got to look forward to? I know we got one big band to look forward to next week.
Yeah. For July 29th, leading off, we have Abstract by Design with Deceptive Identity. Sorry, read the whole line. Left to right, top to bottom, form words together as a sentence. So take Tylenol for any headaches, Midol for any cramps. And then we have probably the one you were referring to. We have Arch Enemy with Deceivers. We have Banks Arcade with Future Lovers. Beer Sleep with Honesty is Violence. Belarus Beaver, oh God, with Symphony of Fallen Trees. Bison Hip with Midlife Crisis, that's an EP. Black Magnet with Body Prophecy. Black Toothed with Julie. Bloodletter with Malignancy. Box with Cherry Blossoms at Night. Caca de Luna with, holy fuckballs, hang on a second. Holy shit, this word's like 20 letters long. Hang on. Zugtigungstheater. Jesus, I hope I got that even. Kara Nair with Phantasmal. Chat Pile with God's Country. Circus Prutz with Blues Revolution. Contemplator with Morphos. Crystal Gates with Torment and Wonder, The Ways of the Lonely Ones. Daidalos with The Expedition. Dance Gavin Dance with Jackpot Juicer. Devil Driver with Clouds Over California. Actually, I'm going to stop right there because I saw something on the PRP that said that got pushed back to August. So that's supposed to be the studio albums box set that actually got pushed back to August. So I'm just going to move on. Eat Your Heart Out with Can't Say Forever. Eosphorus with From Fire into Birth. That is an EP. We have Evil In with Age of Immortal Darkness. Exaltation with Underblind Reasoning. Funeral Check with Roman Candle. Gallower with Eastern Witchcraft. That is an EP. Gathering of Kings with Enigmatic. Horologic Mime with Ad Aeternum Damnationum. That's an EP. The album title is probably longer than the EP itself. Ithaca with They Fear Us. Jacob Turco with Alaska. Catacoma with a self-titled album. Chrysian with Mortem Solus. Lathe with Tongue of Silver. The Lord with Forest Nocturne. Matt Mitchell and the Cold Hearts with Mission. My Sleeping Karma with Atma. Nightbearer with Ghosts of a Darkness to Come. Oceans with Hell is Where the Heart Is, Part 2, Longing. That's an EP. We have Piston with Cold World Plus. Prosper or Perish, Shroud of Serpents. Pythian with Understanding in the Light. Raptor with Blackfire. Reeking Aura with Blood and Bone Meal. Rigatime with Reborn. Rotheads with Slither and Slime. Ryo Okumoto with The Myth of the Mastrophus. Sacred Sin with Storms of the Dying World. Sator with Return of the Barbecue Killers. Sedimentum with Suppuration Morphogeneseek, I think. Shroud of Bereavement with A Beautiful Winter. Sleestack with Harbinger. Sleestacks, isn't that off of Doctor Who? Sleestacks?
I have no idea.
I don't fucking know. I've never watched that. What is that off of? I don't know. Anyway, Stick to Your Guns with Spectre. Suffering Sights with When Sanity Becomes Insanity. No, I'm probably thinking of the Daleks. Anyway, Torch with Live Fire. Torture Killer with Dead Inside. That's an EP. We have Triumvir Foul with Onslaught to Seraphim. Trunk with Eternal Vacation. Void Rot with Telluric Dismemberment. Voivod with Forgotten in Space. The Noise Records Years of box set. We have Wasted with Heroes Die Young. Wasted Volume 2. And last, but certainly not least, Whispers in the Maze, Stories Untold, Chapter 1. That is an EP. So that's the rather lengthy list of the new releases for July 29th, brought to you by HeavyMusicHQ.com.
Yeah, and we're gonna start getting into where we're talking about a lot of the bigger bands with stuff too. So I think Arch Enemy was going to kick it off for us, and I think coming up after that, we we pretty much got I mean, not every week, but it's going to be pretty constant with big name bands. So.
Yeah, it's gonna start. I mean, next week Amon Amartha's got a new album coming out, and then let's see. I mean, we looked ahead a little bit. We looked ahead a little bit last week, and then on August 12th, while not necessarily a huge band, it's a name that Jason and I both know. Hellfire, they have a new album coming out.
Looking forward to that.
So we're both looking forward to that. So I mean, it's going to get to the point where we're Hammer King has another album coming out on the 19th. Again, that's a band that may not be like a household name worldwide, but
Slipknot announced their album September
30th. Spirit Adrift also on August 19th. So,
yes, man, I can't wait for that too.
I know. So I mean, there's
get some more strikes.
Some more copyright strikes, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But that band, like to me though, like if people not familiar with Spirit Adrift, there's only two people in this band, so it's amazing the sound that comes out from two people doing it. It's like the one guy plays all the guitars and then pieces of it. I'm sure they tour with more people, but there's just two of those putting all this together, which is crazy. Thanks, Myrna, for stopping in. You have an amazing week as well.
Yeah, thanks, Myrna, for stopping by. Oh, and by the way, I am feeling better. I am feeling better. I'm working on it. So, but I appreciate the well wishes, and thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you very much.
But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that Spirit Adrift. So.
Of course there's a lot of good shit to look forward to.
Five Finger, Machine Head, and Megadeth, and Lamb of God, and seems like it's just like on and on and on. So, like if we were to stop right now, I would probably be okay with probably getting a top 10 together pretty fairly quickly for the year.
I don't know. I still think
with all that coming out. Oh my God, dude, it's gonna be so.
I know.
Especially if Megadeth's whole album sounds like those first two tracks. Jesus Christ,
dude! I was literally just about to say the exact same thing. I mean, I've been blown away by the first two singles so far from that Megadeth album. My God!
And that new Slipknot release, I'm like, oh my God, dude! Like these bands are not playing around anymore. They're just like, hey, we're going back to doing what we do. So hope all you fans got what you wanted out of them changing. So because they're not. They're going back to roots.
Hey, so that's totally fine by me. Totally fine by me. I'm all for
Disturbed saying that their album's going to be out before the end of the year now. So it was going to be a 2023, but now I think they're pushing it up. So man, it's going to be a wild year. So
which also works for me. So
like I said, we talked about now having 10 tracks, which I mean they could throw something together and have it out by December. So
they could.
It's crazy.
It's going to be a very interesting 5 months to close out 2022. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
And there's been some, I know we do an album cover thing too at the end of the year, which is all right to be. It'll actually be at the beginning of next year before this year, but
right.
But there's fucking great album covers too. Even of albums that I've listened to and don't really care for, but the album covers are just so fucking great. So
the art, the album art always impresses.
All right, well I guess we can wrap this bad boy up for this week.
Yeah, we can.
I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for stopping in. Thanks for Bob and Myrna and Dana from Metal and Tats.
Yeah,
everybody that's in the chat there today. So we appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
Always like a little interaction. So
yeah, it's great when people stop in, but then and stop in and enjoy the show. But it's also great when they want to come in and chat. Absolutely. Even if it's just to say, hey, I mean, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Also, I think Chris has an announcement that a new platform you can catch us on. So.
We do actually. You guys can see it. I hope you can see it streaming there on the bottom of the screen. We actually are on TikTok now. Haven't posted any videos yet. I was actually gonna post one the other night, but considering that I was in the middle of this whole thing and sounded like garbage, I didn't want our first video on TikTok to be, me talking with a fucking sinus infection. So I so I opted against it. So, but we are on TikTok now. You can follow us at Metalheads Unite USA. Just look for the same thumbnail as you see on the screen up there in the upper right hand corner where it always is. It's the same thumbnail we use on Facebook. So, yep, that would be the one. So, yep. Instagram may yep, he's holding on to it.
Heavy.
Instagram is getting heavy. Instagram may or may not be next. I don't know. So, trying to get us out there the best we can. So, but we are on TikTok now, but we're also on, the same places we always have been, VOPUSARadioNetwork.com, the VOPUSA Radio app, YouTube, Twitch. We have the Metalheads Unite Facebook group. We're this close to 400 members. Come on over and send us a member request, and we'll get you guys hooked up. And then you guys can follow us on the plethora of streaming platforms that are out there. I kind of do hope one day to get a list of all 140 just so I can see them, because I don't know if I could name 20, to be completely honest with you. But
I've seen them. So they gave me a list back when we were at 107 or so, I think. I got a list then, but I haven't gotten a list in a while. So this is back when we first started things.
Yeah.
Kind of curious to see what the newer ones are.
Yeah. But basically what we're trying to say is we're out there, so there's no excuse for you not to watch us.
Yeah. or listen.
Or listen. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily watch. I mean, you can put us on in the background. You don't have to look at us if you don't want to.
You can get the VOP out.
That's right.
Do it from there.
Yep, you can take us with you wherever you go. You don't have to, and if you have the VOP app, you don't have to listen to just us. My brother, he stopped by today. He's got his own show on Wednesdays, and we got all sorts of other shows here at the VOP USA Radio Network. So, but check us out, and we're getting there. It is. We're getting easier to find all the time. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And just to show you, like in the but in the bottom corner there, it says, "Hey, Metalheads Unite is live." So.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yes.
A lot of times I'll put on YouTube stuff too, and just let it play and clean or whatever I'm doing too. So you ain't necessarily got to be radio, but I know most of our listeners are on the radio, so I do know that. But, like I said, I always like the people be like, "Oh, but you only have this many people listen to it on Twitter." I'm just like, yeah. Because we go to 140 different places, dude. So, not all at one. We don't put all of our eggs in one basket. So,
truth be told, I probably should make a show specific Twitter page. I probably should do that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
Probably should, because I do simulcast. I do live stream the show on my personal Twitter. I know you've seen it. But yeah, I probably should make a show specific one. I'll work on that. So,
well, you can work on that, and I'll work on the Instagram one, because I'm pretty sure I can link the Facebook to the Instagram. So
okay, yeah, you go ahead and do that, and then I'll do the Twitter page. So yeah, that'll work.
Partners in crime. So
that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah. All right, so we will get out here and let you guys enjoy your day. I'm not looking forward to mine because it's hot outside and I really don't want to go anywhere. But
yeah, no.
I'll melt.
Oof, yeah, it's rough.
And so
heat index of 105 sucks.
Well, the bad thing is, like, they were talking about it was breezy, And I'm like, yeah, but it's blowing hot air around, so it's like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Yeah. It's not
It's not
definitely
doing
not
anything
doing
to help
much.
us for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll wrap this bad boy up, and we will see you guys right back here next week.
Yep.
Thank you guys for stopping in. Hope you guys enjoyed, and check out those bands that we told you about. Like I said, you can
Absolutely.
always do the playlist. Always has the new bands and new songs on there, so you can always check that out on Spotify.
Hmm.
You can just look up Metalheads Unite, and it's usually it's 2022 point, whatever week we're on. So
Right. Yeah.
I think it's 27 or something. I don't know, but anyway, you can
Yeah.
always look
Sounds
it up.
about right.
Yeah, you
Sounds
can always
about
look
right.
it up there too. You can always look it up there too. Just put Metalheads Unite in the search bar; it should pop up for you under
Yep.
playlists.
And again, it's the same. It's the same thumbnail on Spotify.
Yep, yep. I'll say. We try to keep that part the same anyway. Till we get our new logo done, then we'll change it up. But until then,
Yep.
we're going to use that.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great week. See you back here next week. Until then, keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can. See you guys next week.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you.